This is Sportsvisions 92.1. You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Tuesday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. Coach Larry Bush's grandson, we call him the Thrift Behringer. Good morning. How are you?
Great morning, DJ. Ready to rock and roll.
You got it flowing long and looking good. I like that. I can tell a change in your attitude. As soon as the hair drops below the ears, it's a brand new day.
Got to try something, DJ. Got to try something new.
All right, and we call him the Swiss Army knife. Richie Rich is our guy. Good morning, Richard Holdridge.
Good morning, DJ. Man, what a marathon of 18 innings. Didn't it seem like it just ended like a couple minutes ago?
Wait, this just in. We just got the score. The Dodgers beat, of course, Toronto 6-5, man. I tell you what, Freddie Freeman, every time he gets up to the plate, I get pissed off at the Braves because he came through. Yeah. But Shohei Ohtani, are we seeing something that we've never witnessed before, ever? Again, just multiple base hits and a couple of home runs. And the Dodgers in 2 games last night, 18 innings.
Wow.
Were able to go up 2-1 in the World Series, guys. And I tell you, man, it's a great thing. Hey, look, let's go ahead and say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. We appreciate the fact that we have the opportunity to help you get your day started. And as we always say, whether you're cooking breakfast for the kiddos, getting them ready to go to school, or whether you're cooking breakfast for yourself, getting ready to go to work, we appreciate the fact that you allow us into your lives to help you get your day started. And, of course, my favorite is the folks that actually just roll over and want to catch up on last night. And, boy, I tell you, I don't know what time the game was up last night, Thrift, but I'm telling you, 18 innings, man, that's essentially 2 ball games that was played in one.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't say it for not 1 second of it. Extra innings. I was tired and ready to go to bed.
Well, again, as we have our contributor, our Major League Baseball contributor on, I mean, that's the kind of thing. Now, this is a question that we would definitely want to ask Gary, the former Los Angeles Dodger, the former Columbus Blue Devil, when we have him on this week, or at least the next time we have him on, is that obviously at 18 game, who gets ready and who has the conditioning for an 18 games this time of the season? That's when we were talking about having the adrenaline and having the passion and wanting to win at all costs. Is more than just money. These guys go out there with something else on their minds, and to go 18 innings last night and then to have to come back, pretty short notice and play again. Game 4 is up soon.
Yeah, and the official time of the game was 6 hours and 39 minutes. I mean, these games, they start at 8 o'clock,
yep.
And then that means that the game is not ending till about 3 o'clock in the morning.
So just a few minutes ago, then it just got over. I mean, obviously it's
pretty much.
But it's a great thing. It's a great you don't hear that about that. I don't know if I've ever heard of an 18-inning game. You've Thrift?
Last time I remember an 18-inning playoff game was Braves Astros 2005, and the Braves ended up losing that game and losing the series. So that was the last time I remember, and they started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and got done about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock around that time. So I'd rather be a day game for 18 innings than starting at late at night and going all the way to 1, 2 in the morning.
Well, it's Tuesday, guys, and again, we're one day away from Hump Day, and I know that everybody's excited about the regular season in high school coming to a close here. And again, I know that for in most parts of the United States, especially in the South and on the Alabama side, that they're done and ready to roll. And of course, entering week 10. For the Georgia high school football there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that we're already here playoffs for the GIAA and for some of the public schools in Alabama and the public schools in Georgia. This is the last week of the regular season. I just cannot believe it is already here, and we're already in November starting Saturday.
Richie Rich, I know that you had a great week, and again, so far this week, I know that it's not the load that you had last week or the week before, but hey, man, you're still active, and I know you're ready for the playoffs.
I am definitely ready for the playoffs. Yeah, it's starting to become a slow week. Volleyball and softball is wrapped up on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We do have flag football matchups that we have. And this is really the last week that, it starts to slow down, but it starts to pick back up as basketball is just around the corner. But yeah, we got some playoff games. Got some fantastic matchups on Georgia Alabama Sports Live this Thursday and Friday.
Rich, I know that over the past couple of years, we've had some outstanding flag football players that we've been able to honor and talk about and celebrate. Right now, who are some of the top female flag football players in the area?
Well, for Smith Station, Brooke Norrid is just an outstanding quarterback. She could just throw it all over the field. For Columbus, Harmony Franklin, who caught the go-ahead touchdown in the state championship, she's actually starting to become more of a quarterback because I know Serenity Hickman was the quarterback last year. So Columbus has got one. And then the Carver Lady Tigers have a quarterback by the name of Kamaya Bass, who's just a tremendous athlete. So I can't wait to get out there once again and see more great flag football games. And I know that it's a very short season. It's about a month, and then they get ready for the playoffs.
If I know that basketball, the NBA is, they're well into that. I think they've played their third or fourth game now. But Cooper Flagg had an injury, man. Hopefully it's not anything serious, but, he seemed to have gotten off to a wonderful start. Everybody can see the potential that he's going to be a great player. But, again, these injuries, man, they throw up red flags.
Yeah, I can't stand stuff like this. And I hate when you get injuries early in your career. So hopefully he can overcome it. And I've been impressed with him so far this season. And remember, they're doing this without Kyrie Irving. So hopefully he can come back from the injury.
And while we're talking, I know yesterday we were talking NBA, but we didn't talk about, the kid that hit 51 points for the Lakers without no LeBron, no Luka. I mean, Rivers is he's a baller.
Yeah, I love Austin Reeves. He's one of the most underrated players we have in our league, and he can fill it up. He can shoot, and he's more than that. He's a playmaker. He can facilitate. And I like Austin Reeves a lot, and he could be an all-star this year. Putting up 50 points is no easy slot. I don't care how many shots you take in an NBA game.
Also, we're going to have boots on the ground in Auburn this week. And again, I know that both you and Richard Thrift will be having an opportunity to go over for the first time together and cover an SEC game. And I know going in, the temperature was going to be a little bit better, but I don't know if these people are, these Auburn fans are really feeling comfortable just yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. They need to win this game. I think they need to win at Vanderbilt and then beat Mercer. You need to be 7-4 heading into the Alabama game and feeling pretty good about yourself. And in my opinion, you need to be competitive with Alabama. Then I think Hugh's in a good spot. 8, and then if you upset Alabama, you go 8-4 to finish the season on a 5-game winning streak. Obviously, he's going to keep his job. Otherwise, I don't know, man. Maybe he's already going to keep it just because LSU opening, Florida opening, and you're not going to get any of the top dogs you may want because that guy was Lane Kiffin. You tried to get him 2 years ago, and he turned you down, and then you end up stuck with Hugh Freeze. And now the bank trucks are going to back up to Lane's house, and I think he'll end up being an LSU Tiger because I really feel like that job is the best job in America.
I think, Richard, and I don't know where I'm going to give you an opportunity to do your thing. I don't think Lane Kiffin is going anywhere right now. This is just too much going on out there, and I know that he has his anchor in pretty good down there. I know that it's not one of the choice cities, obviously, as it would be at LSU or, for that matter, the Florida Gators. But I think this guy has his way. I think when a coach, one of the main things with a head coach, a guy, especially one of the young phenoms, is that they have to control the climate. And going in, and again, I'm talking about when I say control the climate, they don't have to look over the shoulders of boosters. They don't have to look over the shoulders of their athletic director. It's their program, essentially. I mean, it's not written anywhere, but a guy that like Nick Saban, a guy like Kirby Smart, they don't worry about anything. And I don't know if that will happen if Lane Kiffin was to go anywhere other than where he is right now.
Yeah, I think Lane is happy in Oxford. And you also got to factor in that Ole Miss is going to give him a contract extension. Yes, LSU is a better job, but Lane is beloved in Oxford, especially if they make a college football playoff. And this is a great redemption story for a guy that he went 7-6 in year one in Tennessee, and he jumped ship to go for what he thought was a better job in USC, got fired at USC, he comes back, gets humbled a little bit, being the offensive coordinator for Alabama, goes to coach at Florida Atlantic. So I like seeing the journey that Lane Kiffin had. And I think staying at Ole Miss would be a good fit for him, but I can understand why he'd want to leave, especially if LSU gives him like a record contract.
I got to add too, there's something to say about being in a place where they like you already, because you go to LSU, the pressure is totally different and the championship aspirations are a lot higher. And sometimes the grass is not always greener, because in my opinion, they're never going to fire him at Ole Miss, because I don't think he's ever going to be bad enough to fire him. And what he's already done has been one of the best Ole Miss coaches in its history. So why not stay there, get paid handsomely, and have fun at a small school? But these guys, man, they get this itch and they don't care. They just want to go and improve. And listen, the highest of the high is way better at LSU, but man, can it get low quick? Look at Brian Kelly getting fired in year 4.
And, of course, with that said, I want to say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land, and, of course, all the folks out there in YouTube world as well. And, of course, if you're listening on WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
Guys, let's get this party started. Boy, what a lineup indeed. We're going to have an opportunity to talk to one of the star quarterbacks. We got quite a few nice, really nice quarterbacks, man. And Garrison Edwards, I don't know if they get any better than this. A dual threat star for the Troup County football team, and they're undefeated. Got a huge game coming up, and I think that Georgia Alabama Live is going to be on the scene of that one. And I look forward to talking to Garrison.
Yeah, it's a massive game. Both teams undefeated, both in the top 3, and it's for a region championship. What more can you want from a high school football game?
What are you talking about? We got, Bryson Riggins. We got Garrison Edwards. Who else? We got several other quarterbacks. We got a plethora. I mean, this is the year of the quarterback.
Yeah, we got Broughton Branch over at Brookstone, Braxton Wilkinson at Calvary, Dustin Sherman at Pacelli, Sebastian Hurd at Carver, Andrew Smith at Columbus. Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks. Elijah Fudge. I feel like if I leave somebody off.
Right. I tell you, it's great. It's great to have great quarterbacks, because that means that you're going to have a great production on offense. When you got guys that are talented, you got guys that have great football acumen, guys that are leaders, and that's what you need. And again, I tell you, I think it's a little bit unusual. I don't know if we've had that many quarterbacks there since we've been covering high school football in the last 5-6 years.
No, and I'm telling you, I don't remember a game changer as good as Garrison, man. He literally can take over a game with his legs, his arms, and any facet, and he's so cerebral. And I expect big things from him against Sandy Creek this Friday night. Looking forward to seeing what his mindset is, and although I know it's going to be on point. But talking to him this morning, we'll be talking to him about 7 o'clock, and see where, of course, he and some of the other guys on the team that he actually depends on to get him going, because I know as the quarterback, he's usually the leader. He's the guy. But sometimes you got that guy that has a person that he looks to, and we'll find out who that guy is with Garrison Edwards this morning. Also, the citywide athletic director of Muskogee County, Kendall Mills, had an opportunity to be a part of a program on Saturday morning. It was fentanyl and, of course, awareness. And this week is Red Ribbon Week, kicking off Red Ribbon Week. And Kendall Mills was a part of that program. Looking forward to him giving us somewhat of a report, if you will, on that event, as well as what's going on. We hadn't talked to him since earlier in the season, but now we're at the end of the season. And I know that he has really done a great job, and he has a hell of a responsibility. And of course, he's just getting started through. Yeah, he is, man. And I love his initiatives and things that he's already implementing in place. And he's always about the kids, and he's creative and coming up with new ideas to be successful in the sports landscape of Muskogee County. Jack Patterson, WRBL sports director. We'll get a chance to catch up with Jack and find out all the things that they have lined up as we bring this regular season football, high school football, to a close, and of course start into and partake in the playoffs. But more importantly, again, I know that his heart is still heavy, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, because he lost a very good friend and a colleague, of course, Rex Castillo, his last day last week on the 22nd. And he will be moving on, and he's with the banana guys, the yellow guys, Savannah Bananas, and looking forward to. By the way, they win Auburn this past weekend. How did that go? And Mason McCrane Hit a home run.
Did he?
Yes, he did. Glenwood product, who was over at Auburn, signed last year. So they had a lot of fun with the Savannah Bananas this past weekend in Auburn.
I'm wondering, obviously, with them people selling, with the Bananas selling out football stadiums. And again, did they play in the baseball park?
Yeah, they played in the baseball park this time. So Coach Thompson's team, Butch Thompson's team, got to be able to be a part of it. The dancing, it was just a lot of fun. So, they sold that park out in 2.3 seconds.
Absolutely. The Bama Standard, Stephen Smith, will be with us today. And again, Alabama has the week off, but man, I tell you what, we got a lot of information to catch up with Stephen, as of course the Alabama Crimson Tide want to put it in that third gear and get ready to, of course, finish the season strong and make a push for the SEC championship game as well as the college football playoffs. And of course, at 8:30, Brian Thomas, our very own BT, he'll be here to talk about those Central Red Devils who are getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Central right now. They're ranked number 2 behind the defending champions at 7A Thompson. Bracket's a little bit different this year. They got the bracket projected that Central's going to play Thompson in the semifinals, which means we could end up having a Central Auburn 7A championship because they did the bracket a little bit different this year.
People are tired of Central Thompson. That's what I'm hearing. They're tired of seeing that 5 of the last 6 years or whatever, 5 of the last 7 years.
That's pretty much what it's been since
they said
2018.
We hear you. We're going to flip the script and we'll maybe potentially have, which I don't have a problem with Central Auburn. I think where are the championships at this year? Are they in Auburn?
I've got to look that one up.
Oh, I forgot they don't play in Auburn and Tuscaloosa anymore.
Tuscaloosa,
they play in different stadiums.
Well, I know one thing. I know when they met head-to-head during the regular season, Central beat the brakes off of Auburn.
36-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, hopefully, Auburn will be ready. And of course, Coach Keith Etheridge, he is a good friend, and we're rooting for him as well. But what we'll do, we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll play, of course, we'll come back and we'll talk more about what happens with, of course, the lineup as we see it with Georgia Alabama Sports Live and closing out the season and getting ready for the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2. Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning right here on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Jamari Leonard is charged with murder and aggravated assault for killing 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. in a shooting that took place in September at the South Phoenix City apartment complex. Leonard appeared in court Monday, where Tabitha Russell, Boyd's mother, faced him and described the shooting as, quote, horrible and a disgrace. The race for Lee County Sheriff is heating up after a former deputy was fired for planning to run against Sheriff Jay Jones for office. The firing decision drew public attention. Sheriff Jones says the decision protects public safety, and both men are expected to qualify as Republican candidates in the May primary. City leaders in Alabama also are expressing their concern over the government shutdown. These concerns include food assistance and grant money for sewer, water, and public safety. According to the Pike Road mayor, federal employees who process the funding requests could be furloughed. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Tuesday morning. We're off to a cloudy and cool start with those readings in the mid to low 50s, and the clouds will be stubborn today. They're going to be staying pretty thick through most of the day with those highs only reaching the low 60s. Tonight, cloudy and cool. We are going to be tracking some light showers, though, returning in the overnight and by your Wednesday morning. Light spotty showers continue through Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. End of the week finally clears out with sun in the forecast by Halloween, warmer by the weekend.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Alabama at highschoolofficials.com.
Lori's Furniture.
Furniture Express, your expressway to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gorey's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
I have a friend, about 50, had a bad accident and couldn't go back to work. If you're between the ages of 49 and 63 and can't go back to your job because of a physical or mental disability, Social Security could pay you as much as $3,800 a month. If you or a family member is unable to work because of a disability, call the Social Security Disability Helpline. Our team will give you a free case review and explain to you how much money you're entitled to. And you won't pay anything unless we get you benefits. See if you or a family member is entitled to close to $45,000 a year in Social Security disability funds. Remember, this is not something for people over the age of 65. If you're under 65 and can't work, call now.
800-413-7642. 800-413-7642. That's 800-413-7642.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings, but I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go because I didn't want to be an alcoholic. That was not what I wanted to grow up and be. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected by any means. It was friendly. I could feel it. I mean, I could feel the happiness. It's really great.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. Default terms at mintmobile.com.
You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, the Barringer, and Richard Holdridge in the building. Good Tuesday morning. It's a great day for a great day. Happy to be here. Michael Jackson getting us started here. Getting our blood boiling, get the hair standing up on the back of your neck this morning as we look this morning right straight dab in the eyes, of course. Looking forward to having Garrison Edwards on. He's the star quarterback with Troup County. And Garrison is a dual threat guy. He's a guy, the sub 4.4 guy. He can pick him up and put him down, and also a great baseball player. And again, you can tell that by the way he's able to release the football. He has a really nice form. But I think as we talk to Garrison today, and again, I do know the tremendous commitment that his dad put into the training and really concentrate on the fundamentals and getting a really nice base when he was younger so that he learned how to do it the right way. And again, he was blessed with the gifts of talent. And now you're seeing the fruits of his labor, of course, at a very young age, doing and going way beyond what most kids would sacrifice, and most parents, because again, you talk about having training sessions and quarterback coaches and hitting coaches down in around throughout the state, getting on the road, and of course, the schedule that his parents have as professionals in the community is a commitment within itself. So we are looking forward to really just taking a deep dive, because again, like I said, we talked to Garrison, how many weeks ago, Thrift? It was maybe about 6 weeks ago, they had a couple of games into the season.
Yep.
He had already shown that he was he was elite, but last year, what a lot of people didn't remember, the fact that he was very limited because he got injured, and he only was able to show a little bit, but he showed blurbs of his excellence. And this year, having a full season of being healthy, again, he's thrown for over 1,400 yards and a gazillion touchdowns, and he's run for another 14 touchdowns on the ground. So again, a tremendous deal. And again, with when you talk about his leadership, But again, the finding out some of the other players that make this thing work. That's what we want to make sure we allow Garrison to do, because he couldn't do it by himself. His offensive line, of course, his skilled receivers, and of course, his running backs. So looking forward to that interview.
Yeah, I am too, man, and I can't wait to have him on. He's a very well-spoken guy too, DJ. We enjoyed having him on earlier in the year.
Want to get back into the World Series, Rich. Obviously, last night we talked about the 18-inning game that ended in the bottom of the 18th. Of course, Freddie Freeman, the former Atlanta Brave, had a nice walk-off homer to take them up to take the series lead to 2-1. I think that Toronto is going to definitely put up an excellent fight. So I think at this point, 7 games is something that I think that could happen.
Yeah, I think it could happen too. I just think that Toronto, it may be without George Springer. I mean, he's listed as day-to-day. I thought that Toronto had their best shot to win in this series. They were sending out their ace, Max Scherzer. They had a 5-4 lead going into the 7th, and then Shohei Ohtani with that game-tying home run. And then, of course, Freddie Freeman does it again like he did in the World Series last year, coming up with a big clutch home run in a game that ended at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I actually went to bed when Toronto was up 5-4. I didn't even see the Dodgers tie it. So, the Dodgers have a lot of momentum, especially with games 4 and 5 in L.A. But Toronto, if anybody knows that just the resiliency from the Blue Jays, they should be able to find a way to get some of those games and then push this to 7 games.
Tripp, how do you think that the leadership of the Atlanta Braves are feeling right now as they see a guy that they had in their camp that was really the life and blood and soul of their locker room? He's performing at a high level. Last year was MVP in the World Series. This year he's actually he's putting on a nice campaign to do the same thing with that big home run last night. But just if you Angelopoulos and of course whoever the managers, or well, don't even worry about the managers. You're not just the administration with the Braves as they sit back and of course crying their beer because of some of the players that they've lost over the years.
Yeah, it has really been mind-boggling, but I think the biggest one would be Freddie Freeman, because what he's been able to do with the Dodgers, winning World Series MVP last year, obviously coming up huge again this year. It'd have been nice to have him over the last several seasons after that 2021 championship. I think he could have been a difference maker in those 23 and 22 teams when they won 100 games and got bounced in the first round. So that was, in my opinion, a bad decision on the Braves, even though I will say the first baseman right now, Matt
Olson,
he has not played. Obviously, he's played really well. He hit 50 home runs literally 2 years ago. But again, he's not Freddie Freeman. And in the playoffs, there's a reason why everybody loves when Freddie Freeman's up the bat.
Let's talk about, let's stay in Atlanta and talk about the Atlanta Hawks. They actually lost to the Chicago Bulls, 128-123, and still trying to find themselves. I think that they have a chemistry, but they, again, it takes a few games in basketball, as you well know, Thrift, but again, it's certainly not going to throw in the towel on the Hawks. It's way too early for that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Not at all.
I like Porzingis. He had 27 points. Trae Young had 21. I told you how high I am on Jalen Johnson. He had 25. Kongwu and Nikhil Alexander-Walker had 17. It was a defense that was lack thereof against I'm telling you, Chicago's one of those teams. They're undefeated right now. By December, January, they're going to fall out, and they're not going to be a team that's worth anything. They're going to be one of the bottom feeders and getting a first top 5 draft pick. But right now, they're just playing with a lot of momentum, as a young team always does. And if you're the Hawks, find yourself defensively, but they'll be just fine.
The Hawks will play the Nets tomorrow, and Richard, they have plenty of time to, obviously, because again, nobody knows what the West, or at least the East, looked like, because again, the debacle or the injuries that affected Boston really punched a hole in the raft when you consider all the expectations that the Boston Celtics was having. But now they have to. They got to mend. They got to heal, and of course that gives Atlanta an opportunity to take a deep breath, find this group, because you 5 guys and 5 starters in double figures, man. That's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, it's still early. They're 1-3. They're trying to get some players back. Zachary Rizachet came back from injury. He only had 2 points, but he'll get back. And and be that player that is that two-way player. I still have not really seen Dyson Daniels do a whole lot. I know that he got that contract extension, and we want to see him offensively, but it's not really the offense that's the problem. It's the defense. And I think that they need to find a way to stop these stars that end up getting their points. And we saw that in the opening night with R.J. Barrett, who had 25 points. And, the Chicago Bulls, they have some great players that were able to get their points. And they put up 128 against the Atlanta Hawks. Looking at it, you had a player named Ayo Dosunmu who came off the bench with 21 points. But, yeah, they got a chance to get in the win column, taking on the Nets, their next opponent.
I know it's really early still in the season, but obviously, that landmine hit the other day when you talk about the gambling spectacle that a couple of players and a former, or at least a coach, NBA coach, Chauncey Billups. It's been quiet, but at the same time, I expect a lot more fallout as we get deeper and deeper into this thing. I don't know what kind of damage control that the NBA can have with this thrift. But, at the same time, it's hard to focus, I'm sure, as a player that, if, in fact, this is as big as everybody thinks it is, there's some more people that will come out. And obviously those guys that have to play with those heavy hearts and that know that they might have some involvement. I tell you, I would hate to be an owner, and I hate to be a coach. I'd hate to be a player at this point in time.
Yeah, and right now the NBA is reassessing its measures on legal sports betting, how it should be regulated, what types of bets should be allowed, and the best way to protect players from the dire risks that gambling can impose upon their individuals' careers and livelihoods. So obviously the NBA is going to have to crack down basically what they're saying. Something's got to change, especially with what has happened to this Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups indictment, and what already happened with Jonte Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. None of this is going to be good, and the NBA eventually is going to have to find a way to be able to control this. And we knew this was going to happen when you start making it legal. When it's legal for everybody, and that includes NBA players, unless you put a ban on it, and we'll see if the NBA is going to do that.
Not only is that the fact that they made the gambling legal, the fact of the matter is that this is a much bigger part of that, is that a lot of these companies become sponsors of the league. And again, I don't know, the names of all those different, gambling firms or agencies or whatever. But I mean, that's a big part of their budget. And, again, I know you had at one point in time, you were doing some things with one of those entities.
Yeah, Prize Picks.
Yeah, all of that. It's several of those different. That's a way of life now. That's normal, and now you can't go back on it because those companies have invested into the league, and it's going to be interesting how this whole thing is settled.
Yeah, it is, and you're right about how something like Prize Picks, that is not technically gambling, but it is. It's all very gray right now, and I think that's the place you don't want to be if you're in the NBA, is gray, because then you get misinterpretation, and then you get things like what's going on with Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups.
And I think, Richard, when you really think about, the bottom line of this is that the association with the mafia, you got these prominent NBA players that, again, apparently for them to be in it, involved as they are, they have to have a relationship with these crime families.
DJ, forget about it. We don't let you talk about it. Come on now. Forget about it.
Absolutely.
Forget about it. Yeah, I don't understand why you would ever want to get involved. And I get it. This is not The Sopranos. We're not watching The Godfather right now. We're not watching Goodfellas and Paulie and Robert De Niro. I get that it's probably not what it used to be, and it's not glorified like how it was in movies. But in the end, these guys still mean business, and I don't know why you would want to get in that type of business when you were playing for the NBA. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
And for the FBI to have their involvement and to supposedly have over a year of investigating this particular case, again, I know that law enforcement is serious, but when you talk about FBI, that's the next level.
Yeah, they definitely cracked down on this. I mean, we have some scandalous stuff going on that the NBA thought they might have handled, especially with the Terry Rozier situation, but it was really the FBI laying down the hammer because they were able to have that investigation. But you have different scenarios. You have an NBA coach that was having a poker game that was rigged. It didn't really have an effect on the over and under on players like with David Jones and a Terry Rozier. I mean, that affects the outcome of the game. I think that it's a serious offense, but it wasn't like he was affecting the outcomes of NBA games.
All right, coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to find out where Thrift will be playing Tonk and Blackjack. And, of course,
you think you're better than me, don't you?
Go get your shot.
You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
That never gotta sweat that. You could bet that never gotta sweat that.
Cash, I'll be the rubber band. You'll be the match. I will be a fuse. Boom, painter, baby.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA disability compensation is a monthly tax-free payment to veterans who got sick or injured in the military and to veterans whose service worsened an existing condition. You may qualify for VA disability compensation for physical and mental health conditions that developed or worsened due to service. Learn more at va.gov/disability.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle and after school home, a section of my block, the corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your Y. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Catch the Paul Feinbaum Show, 3 to 7 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's 3-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and Richard Holdridge in the building.
This is what DJ was driving to right here. Athens, Georgia. He just got done with his DJ shift.
Yeah.
Who's that bad brother rolling down the street?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can remember that time, and it sounds good. Take me back Tuesday. I guess what? You got the music to follow. Guys, I tell you, it's an incredible time of the year with regards to all this going on. NBA basketball, college football, high school football, pro football. Again, the World Series is here. And, of course, for our local folks, flag football is in full effect. We just got done with volleyball. But more importantly, we got some rankings that Georgia Alabama Sports Live has here. And at the end, and again, in about a few days, those rankings won't mean diddly because, we'll be right in the middle of the playoffs. But for the sake and purpose of the rankings as you have it with Georgia Alabama Sports Live, let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, so ranked number 10, and this is people were upset. They were writing letters. They were saying, forget about it. They were telling Richard he don't know what he's doing. Where did he come up with this algorithm? So number 10, it could be a multitude of teams. It could be 2-7 Smith Station. It could be 2-7 Northside, or it could be 2-7 Shaw. I'll let Richard pick because we're talking about 2-win teams that are not making the playoffs. And you could flip a coin. I don't care. I mean, I understand Northside and Smith Station both beat Shaw, but Shaw technically still has an outside chance to make the playoffs. Both the other teams are completely eliminated. With that being said, Shaw comes in at number 10. Number 9 is the Harris County Tigers.
Why don't you pump the brakes? Let's talk a little bit about, as you talk about the positioning.
Yeah.
And you may mention of number 10, is it Smith? Is it Smith Station?
It's Shaw right now.
It's Shaw right now. And again, Shaw started out like it was a box of rocks, but they've come on here. And how many games have they won here in the last few weeks?
They've won 2. But they do have they face Jordan next week. I expect to get a win there to finish the season 3-7.
Yeah. Did we ever figure out that quarterback? I actually met the starting quarterback he was at the program on Saturday over at Carver, and I had an opportunity to talk. Coach Gardner had about 8, 9 of his players with him. A great turnout. I'm glad to see them at least get it going back in the right direction, because again, early on, I was really disappointed because I was not expecting for Shaw to come out. I know Blair Harrison leaving, it had somewhat of an impact, but, he was the athletic director. He wasn't the head coach. I know he and, of course, Johnny Gardner had a great relationship. But I just coming out of the blocks, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah, it would have thrown me for a loop too, man. And I just, that for Shaw to finish and be 2-7, was not expecting that. Same thing with Spencer starting off to a bad start, but you've seen Spencer jump up. Number 9, Harris County. They finished 4-6 on the year. Coach, the Harris County Tigers were Stars Mill lost, and they lost by 2 points and had a chance to win the game from making the playoffs this year and finishing 500. Number 8, Calvary.
No. Let's talk about each one of them. There's no need for us to race through it because, again, in talking about Harris County, now you talk about disappointing in Shaw. I mean, obviously, I never saw that coming with Harris County.
No, I didn't either. I thought this team was going to be definitely a playoff team. They are in a tough region, and they do have a lot of young players. I see the Harris County. When you think of Harris County, you think of somebody that makes the playoffs, and so it was disappointing that they were not able to make the playoffs this year.
But if I know that the folks at the county up there, of course, I know Rick Beach was a little disappointed.
Yeah, he is, but he also knows this team had overcome a lot of injuries. They played a ton of underclassmen and young players, and they play in one of the toughest regions in 4A in the state. So I think he understood, and so does Coach Watson. They're building for the future. Number 8, Calvary, 5-game losing streak to end the year after starting 5-0. Just not the way you want to go into the playoffs. I do think they got a winnable playoff game this Friday night on the road, 3.5 hours away in Bethlehem, Georgia, the Bethlehem Knights. So it's Knights versus Knights, but Calvary did not win a region game this year, so that is back-to-back years. They have not won or they call it district in GIAA. They have not won a district game, so they're still over in that regard, but they did win the first 5. They are in the playoffs, and who knows what could happen once a team gets to the playoffs, because everyone's record is 0-0.
I tell you, that was a nosedive that I wasn't expecting. Jumping out there 5, I got really excited, and still, it's not it's not too late. You're very fortunate to still be in it. Had taken a couple of lumps and bumps. Those 3 or 4 games that they did lose. They were, of course, a touchdown or 2 away from winning one of those, right?
Yes, they were. So they had a chance to beat Westfield and end up losing that one, and then they had a chance against Pacelli and end up losing that one. Number 7, dropping 2 spots down. The biggest slide this week is Columbus High. They go to 7-2. They drop because Columbus's wins are against teams without great records. Greenville probably is their best win, and Shaw, and Greenville's a 1A school that potentially could make the playoffs this year. Shaw's 2-7, but not taken away from what has been a great year from Columbus High, but they needed to win against Spencer for me to really feel good about, can this team make some playoff noise? And they got beat 28-0. Really should have been 42-0. And they got Sumter County this Thursday. So Columbus comes in at number 7.
I tell you what, Richard, Coach Peters, in my book, now this is my humble opinion, if the season ended right now, I would celebrate Columbus High School for all that they've done. I mean, they have been down for a while, but they got 7 wins on the books?
7-2.
And I know they got more time to play, but as of right now, man, I'm so proud of the Blue Devils. I mean, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, this team only won 2 games last year, won 1 game 2 years ago. Just the turnaround that Coach Robert Peters has done has just been fantastic. But they actually rely heavily on Andrew Smith, their quarterback. He's out there on special teams. He's there on defense, and he can't do it all himself. So that's why Columbus, they do have some good players, but they just didn't have the depth that Spencer had. I think that this team, this is something that they could build off of, because you have great athletes that come to Columbus. They're known for other sports, and it was great for the football team to have the successful season they had. And they're going to make the playoffs, and it'll be the first time since 2018.
Number 6, Pacelli, they're playing better than anyone right now. They won 3 of their last 4. They beat a top 3 Westville team at home by 12 last Friday night, and they got on the side of the bracket that is easiest for them, meaning they won't have to leave the city of Columbus the first 2 weeks. That means if they win this week at home, they play at Brookstone next week, and then they only have to go to Macon potentially for the semifinals to get into the championship. So Pacelli playing their best football they have all year. They were 2-4 at one point. They finished the season now 5-5 at number 6.
Big shout out to Coach Benny Griner. Again, he started out, had his lumps and bumps. He, of course, like most first year coaches, you have to learn who your players are. You got to get, acclimated with your coaching staff, the culture establishing. But it looks like they have gotten everything right together at the right time as we get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, no question about it. They have stability at quarterback. Dustin Sherman has been doing a great job. He tossed a couple of touchdown passes. The defense has been playing a lot better. Pacelli is playing right where they need to play, and they host Loganville Christian at Diamond Field this Friday, and that is definitely a winnable game, and they've got an incredible path to try to at least get to the second round semifinals. The sky's the limit for Pacelli. They're just playing. Nobody wants to play him right now in the playoffs. That's for sure.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to play him.
Top 5 for the first time since beginning of the year is, I call him the maestro, because this looks like a mad scientist out there, conductor, when he's rocking and rolling with his play calling. That is the Spencer Green Waves, and Joseph Kegler did a great job on, again, Friday night. I cannot say it enough. Columbus doesn't beat themselves, and Spencer dominated them in every facet, from defense, offense, special teams. It was a complete performance. They're playing their best ball. They've won 5 of their last 6, and they're probably going to win 6 of their last 7 to end the season, get to 6-4. What a way for Spencer to finish out after they started 0-3 on the season. So congratulations to the Green Waves with a big win over Columbus on Friday, and they are going to make the playoffs, in my opinion, and they play Hardaway this Friday night.
When I think about the Green Waves, pound for pound, they have one of the better players that I've seen around here in quite some time. CJ Starr he's a tackling machine, and he's not a bad running back as well, but very, very, very possessed young man in a great way, great student, but just one of the real good football stories with high school student athletes here in the city this year.
Number 4, Brookstone, 8-2. Finished number 2 in the GIAA 4A classification, which means they'll host the playoffs until the state championship, and that was at a neutral location. So quarterfinals and semifinals, they will host at Max Strong Stadium. What a season for Coach Ian Headley. Big win over Strong Rock last week. They finished 8-2 on the year, and the Cougars are one of the favorites to win it all, if not be favored.
I don't know what Ian Headley's contract looked like coming in, but I know that Brookstone should go ahead and lock that up, secure it, and make sure that he's there for a while, because this young guy came in out of nowhere. And again, I say out of nowhere because we didn't know him from anybody from around this way, but somebody did. And whoever was the guy or the catalyst who brought him on board and introduced him to that program, they deserve a bonus themselves.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And he was an outside the box hire that is turned into gold here in this first season. Number 3, Glenwood. They had a bye last week. The region champs. They're undefeated in the region. They'll be hosting at least 1, potentially 2 or 3 playoff games because they're number 1 region seed. And the Gators have their final game at Sylacauga 5A public school in Alabama this Friday night. Gators 7-2, number 3. Coach Ryan Nelson, one of the most consistent programs we got in our area.
Absolutely. And Coach Ryan Nelson, for all that they've done, he is the most underrated coach that's done the most tremendous job that we have in the Bi-City, Tri-City areas. I tell you what, hats off to Ron Nelson and the Glenwood Gators.
Yeah, thank you again to Ryan and the Gators for putting on an incredible performance against Lee Scott 2 weeks ago. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and it helped out because the other region game didn't live up to par, and Russell County comes in at number 2. Again, Pike Road ranked in the top 7. Russell County still not ranked according to Alabama Sports Writers poll at all at 8-1. And I think they were ranked until they just got shellacked at home by Pike Road. And that also classification as Saraland and Clay Chalkville. It's just way too tough. It may be tougher than 7A, to be honest with you. That's how loaded 6A is. But Russell County, nothing to take away from them. They got one more game against Beauregard at home senior night this Friday. They'll get to 9-1, and that is still an incredible season for Coach Dylan Griggs and his quarterback Bryson Riggins. And then the number 1 team stayed number 1 since the beginning.
We're not going to talk about Russell County?
You can talk both of them.
Yeah, let's talk about them. I mean, Bryson Riggins, we got, of course, Garrison was on today, but Bryson, we've had him on a couple of times. And both of these guys, looking at both of them, sizing them up, Richard, obviously the speed that Edwards has. But again, both of those guys are smaller kind of guys, and I think they have a great command and field presence. And, they're both leaders. I just, again, I can't imagine them not getting an opportunity to play at the next level.
Yeah, no question. Bryson Riggins is one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. The stats as far as touchdown passes is a little down this year, but, they rely on their running game with Chris Lucas. They have a balanced attack. I think that they're a little bit more improved on defense, but they have a chance to get to 9 wins if they beat Beauregard, which they haven't won 9 wins since 1998. It's been a long time since Russell County had this many wins, and they have a chance as they host a home playoff game. They got a chance to get past the second round, and that hasn't happened since 1998.
1998, indeed. And drum roll.
Yep, number 1 team, Carver Tigers, undefeated, and they'll stay undefeated after this week. And look like one of the favorites to win it all in 2A, even though I wouldn't sleep past Callaway, Morgan County, and Carver of Atlanta. Those 3 teams specifically are going to give the Tigers of Carver here in Columbus, Georgia, a run for their money. But right now, the defending champions are undefeated, and they are on currently, and they finished 14-1 last year.
Yeah.
And they ended an 11-game winning streak. They are over 20 games in a row right now, which could be tops or one of the tops in the state of Georgia.
Let me just say this, and again, kudos to Jarvis Jones and his staff and players. But I tell you, man, 8, 9, 10 weeks ago when, of course, we first, before the season started, and we were talking about Carver and all the potential. Yeah, we knew that they had a bunch of returning players, but they weren't Jarvis's players. Those were the, Pierre Coffey and the state championship, residuals that were left over. However, I don't know if it's been done before, but I just have to give a ton of credit. And I was trying to keep the dogs off, and there was no need, with regards to me pumping the brakes and slowing it down and saying, hey, look, this is Coach Jones's first opportunity. This is his first head job. Give him a little time to learn his players, give him a little time to learn the community. Hey, he didn't need none of that, man. And again, and you say, how does that happen? Well, how many opportunities do coaches get that leave a national championship program run by the great Kirby Smart, and of course all the other coaches from Mike Tomlinson and the likes, so that's something. And again, Jarvis's aptitude, his ability to, of course, he was a great player and he had great talents, but his acumen was outstanding. So the leadership part of that, it just all came together. And I tell you, man, this is the stuff that documentaries are made of. I mean, there's more football to be played, but should he run the gamut in his first year as the head coach of the George Washington Carver Tigers, man, this is something that, I mean, you don't highlight reels, documentaries. This is the stuff that you learn from, and you could you make training reels for coaches from now on.
Oh, no question. It'd be just a huge story that could make for a great documentary. And before the season even started, there were some question marks about Carver. We knew they were going to be good. We didn't think they were going to be this good.
That's right.
They had a new quarterback. They had a lot of players that left due to graduation. There was a lot of uncertainties. We knew that the region was obviously a winnable region, but there were some landmines on their schedule, like a Harris County, like a North Side. But Carver's only big test was that 8-7 win over Sumter County. Well, they got past that. They play Kendrick this Thursday. Right now, the question is, how much do the voters, according to the polls in the state of Georgia, how much do they value Carver? Because you still got some great teams like a Carver Atlanta, Morgan County, which has to play Callaway. That's another great team in 2A. What is Carver going to look like when it comes to the playoffs? Where's their seeding? We know that they're probably going to be no higher they're no lower than a 4 seed, in my opinion, which means that they would be hosting a home playoff game all the way up until the semifinals. We're hoping that they're able to get a favorable seeding when it comes to the playoffs.
Playoffs indeed. Hey, listen, I do want you to talk a little bit about this trip before we go to the break. Is that the fact of the matter is that, even though Carver is, look like they're unblemished, you don't know what they have to deal with behind the scenes. But again, as I talk about celebrating and making a training reel, because that Jarvis, whether he's, whether the problems were big problems or small problems, he had some problems. It hadn't all been great. He's been blowing people out and beating them. But again, be able to handle it all on the run and you don't see it. That's how you know the mark of a true champion, when he doesn't even blink.
Yeah, he's a true leader, obviously natural coach, and done an amazing job in year one. To have Carver undefeated is no easy slouch with all the pressure of, hey, you got a ton of talent, you better win. And he's done exactly that. Now, let's see if we can go out and finish the job with a championship.
All right, let's go ahead and take a short break. You are watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2. Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Sportsvisions 92.1.
We're always going a million different directions.
But Kinetic Credit Union makes it easy for all of us to stay connected all in one place.
With the Kinetic mobile app, we both can monitor our accounts on the go. We can create account alerts so we know when there's a change. Apply for a loan or credit card. We can even open a new account.
Plus, you can quickly pay bills, transfer money, or make a deposit anytime, anywhere.
Kinetic makes our life a whole lot easier.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Attorney advertising, Georgia. Attorney 770 Good Law Car Accident Lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Hot dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Beware the dog. Gotta watch out. Beware the dog. He'll bite you. He'll get you. He's coming for you. Beware the dog. You at a traffic light right now. Looking in your rearview mirror like he needs to slow down. You at a red light. He texting on his phone. He ain't slowing down. He slams on his brakes. Barely missed you. I wish he would've called the dog. I wish he would've. Pulls up beside you to tell you he was sorry. You talking to him like, I was gonna call the dog. Light turns green. Y'all still there talking. A car comes up behind you, runs in back of you. Man, you really in the accident. What you gonna do? You calling the dog? What you gonna do? Any accident, big or small, top dog law.
This season of Georgia Bulldogs football is brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union, Yates Insurance, and Marsh & McLennan Agency, locally known as J. Smith Lanier.
This message is brought to you by the Armed Forces Vacation Club, a free membership travel hub for active duty military and veterans. The club provides a well-deserved escape during challenging times or post-deployments, or for cherished family moments. This exclusive travel club grants access to discounted 7-night resorts and savings on over 600,000 hotels, rental cars, and more. Discover the world for free at afbclub.com.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone,
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
but treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. The Herd with Colin Cowherd, 12 to 3 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Carver Tigers legend DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Tuesday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones to the Behringer. Richard Holdridge is off to do his daddy duties. It's a great day for a great day. Good Tuesday morning. So happy to get your day started with us. As promised, we have with us one of the young, bright star quarterbacks in the Bi-City, Tri-City area. His name is Garrison Edwards with Troup County. Good morning, Garrison. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. How you doing, Doc?
I'm all right, man. How you doing, DJ?
I'm wonderful, man. I'm wonderful, man. Look, we talked to you guys about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I know that you were off to a great start. But man, I tell you what, here we are now. You guys have won 8, 9 games and totally undefeated, getting ready for one of the biggest games in quite some time. And Doc, I'm glad that you were able to, you and Garrison were able to check back in with us because again, it's been a journey, man. And I just want to share with the folks out there, Garrison, when we have elite players doing and playing and performing both on the field and off the field as you have been, I want to shine the light on it. And again, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. So right now, I know that things are going really well, and you got this huge game. Has anything changed since when we talked to you last? I mean, your routine as far as what you're doing in the classroom and what you're doing in practice. I mean, is it pretty much the same, or you had to alter it somewhat?
Yes, sir. It's the same. That's one thing you got to maintain. Through like the longevity of a season. Keep your routine the same, keep your mindset the same, and just got to keep building on week by week.
I know that, you're having a great season individually, but I want you to talk a little bit about your offensive line because I'm sure you'll be the first to tell us that all that you've done would be nothing if you didn't have those guys, those big uglies up front.
Yes, sir. My success running the ball, my running back success running the ball, Trent Hill, Monty Hurd, and Javarius Warner. Most of the time it's us who gets like shine, but it's really start with the offensive line. You got Wade England, Gavin Laney, Big T, Tavion Edwards, Caleb McCamey, Cannon, and Cody Lee. It starts with those guys. They put in a lot of hard work. They come in the morning, watch film, and even stay after, watch film, and they really work hard to practice. So all of our success because of them.
Yeah, man, you've done an amazing job. You got 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Everybody that's listening, he's got 820 yards on the ground and 14 touchdowns. This is about the best dual threat quarterback I can think of. And Garrison, I've been saying this over and over again. You're the type of player that can help lead your team to a championship, but you take on Sandy Creek. It comes in as a #1 team. It's for a region championship. What's the mindset been with Coach Glisson and the entire team as you head into, I think, the biggest game in the entire state?
Yeah, we understand how big of a game it is, but we just gotta, there's a lot of outside noise about, who's gonna win and a lot of adversity going on already, and it hasn't even haven't even got to Friday yet. But, we just make sure that we don't change nothing that we do and how we prepare for the week. We still coming in the morning, watching film, and still keeping the same practice schedule. We got to keep that same routine.
Dr. Edwards, I love to have you guys together because, again, I want to make sure that the community understands the tremendous investment, the amount of time that you have dedicated to, of course, the training that has gone on in the life of your son, Garrison. And I want to commend you and your wife both because, again, he is just as talented in the classroom as he is on the field.
Yes, one thing about him academically, we've never really had to push him. He's always been a self-starter, a self-finisher as far as how things went academically, which makes it a whole lot easier for us to feel good about doing everything we can to make sure he has the resources to be the best that he can be.
I think you guys know that coming up on Thursday, December the 11th at St. Luke Ministry Center here in Columbus, it is the 18th annual Sportsvisions Football Player of the Year Awards. And Garrison, you were the proud winner of the Sportsvisions AFLAC Academic Player of the Year last year. And I know with that still pretty much intact, but because of what you've been able to do, the totality of your season, you guys might need to bring, the SUV. So, you might be walking away with a lot more than just an academic award this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do want to say this again with regards to your head coach. Talk to me about your relationship with him because, he is a special guy. Not only is he your football coach, but he's your baseball coach.
Yes, sir. I love Coach Glisson a lot. I'm really happy he got me over here my 9th grade year. I'm pretty much with him, throughout the whole year, football and then transitioning to baseball. And then, so these past 4 years with him have been great. And then also I feel like we got that, connection for life because, he already is my coach in 2 sports, but now we want to ring together in baseball. And then, now we're trying to win another one in football and then also trying to win another one in baseball. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for Coach Bush.
If you look at this region, Dr. Edwards, that you're in, Sandy Creek's ranked number 1 in your region. You're ranked number 3, and this is in the entire state, 3A in the region. Number 4, LaGrange in your region, and number 15 is Mary Persons in your region, man. The fact that week in and week out, you can't take a night off. What have you seen from this Troup County team that has made it so special? And I've said it, this is definitely Tanner Glisson's best opportunity to win a championship since he took over as the head man for the Troup County Tigers.
Well, what I've seen is these young men, Garrison and all of his teammates, they've embraced the challenge of the season. As they've gone through, there has been some adversity in different games. They haven't wavered. They kind of stick to their plan. They stick to what they're good at. I think they have an understanding that on their team they have enough. They understand that they don't have to do anything extra. They have a game plan. They have good coaches that put them in position to make plays, and they do a pretty good job of taking advantage of the opportunities that come their way. And it's paid huge dividends to this point. They're 9-0. They've been very fortunate on the injury front, which is huge in football.
Yes.
Between the luck of not having the injuries, the coaching staff and the training staff making sure that these guys do everything pre-game and post-game to stay healthy. They embraced everything.
Dr. Edwards, if you would, I want you to spend a few minutes just to kind of talk about how you budget your time, because you and your wife, both professional people, and of course, Garrison, of course, and your other son are in school, and Garrison is a 2 sports player. Again, talk about how you guys, how you get your day started, and again, how do you stick to the routine that you have? Because again, everybody's going, seems like everybody's going in a lot of different directions, but everybody has to be certainly going in the same direction as it pertains to Garrison and the success that he's had with the team, both on and off the field, as well as in football and baseball.
There are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. It's a lot of controlled chaos, so to speak. It's not unusual to get to work and get a call from him something popped up on his schedule that was added there simply because of the success of the team. And, when that happens, you just do your best to try to make sure that you get there. Which means that there are times in the evenings where you have to do more to make sure that in the morning you have that flexibility, or late in the afternoons you have that flexibility. You got to get on the phone and call each other and just kind of say, hey, I know I was here, but I'm 30 minutes down the road to go help him or help my other son.
Garrison, talk about that offensive line, man. You got to show them some love, because you don't run for 2,500 yards in 9 games without having the big uglies up front just going, just bludgeon everyone. So those guys have really, they set the tone for how good your offense has been this year for sure.
Yes, sir. Coming off last year, that was one of the main pieces that we had to work on. 2 things with my pass game, and then another thing was the offensive line. We had different offensive schemes, especially up front. A lot of pulls and stuff like that. So that's one thing that we worked on, and I saw those guys working hard over during the spring and during the summer, and then every day in practice. And I'm really proud of those guys. And they put that work in. They come in the weekends early. I praise my offensive line coach, Coach Lawson. He really pushes those guys to their limits. And I also do what I can to make sure if I see anybody slacking off, I push them to their limit too, because I know what their best looks like. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Troup County's starting quarterback, Garrison Edwards, is our guest alongside his dad, Dr. Marcus Edwards, the Sportsvisions morning show this morning. And I got to ask you, you for a long time, most of last season and in the part of this season, you were doing the red hair or the blonde hair kind of deal. What made you, why did you do that? And of course, what made you change back?
The blonde hair is because during baseball playoffs, the transition from regular season to playoffs, our thing is to bleach our hair, and that supposedly makes us play better, which it does. So then, when you transition from baseball to football, I gotta get rid of that. And then, maybe going to the football playoffs, I might bleach my hair again. So we'll see.
So, Dad, was that a hard pill to swallow? I mean, how did he explain that to you? Did he ask permission, or he just came home one day and you saw a blonde-haired kid?
Well, he came home and he said, it's playoffs. We got to bleach our hair blonde. His sophomore year was the first year he did it. It was kind of a shock. Last year, I just kind of expected it. As soon as the last regular season game was over, that's the first thing he pretty much said when he got in the car. Now it's time to dye my hair. And it paid off. They won the state title, so it paid off.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Doc, go ahead and for the folks that are listening out there and they're hearing you guys for the first time, go ahead and explain that atmosphere. Go ahead and explain that experience at a Troup County football game this year, because it's been a little different, man. Again, I know your son is the star quarterback and one of the leaders on that team, but when you're sitting in the stands, talk about that experience.
Well, of course, we sit around a lot of the parents. So first of all, there's a great sense of we're in this together, because all of us have a kid on the field. But also, I think there's a sense of understanding how good the team is and how good the team can be on this team. I mean, there are 17 or 18 kids that have college offers to play at various levels. So, I mean, they've worked hard. There's a lot of talent there, but there's a lot of hard work that's going on out there. And you can kind of see it if you're in the stands and you see the parents and you see the support to the kids, you get an understanding of why these kids were able to achieve what they've achieved to this point. So as far as the stands and the environment, I mean, it's an exciting environment because the team is successful, but more so because those parents up in the stands and those kids up in the stands really support those guys out there on the field.
And Garrison, I know that as one of the leaders on the team, and you guys have a special season going right now, but who are some of the other leaders in the locker room that help you get the team motivated? I know that having a good coach is one thing, but you also, to have a successful team, to have an elite team, guys like you and a few others have to do what the coach can't do. And who are some of those guys that help you lead this team?
Some of those guys are Davis Monkus. You know, he's a young junior, but ever since coming off last year, you know, he's been pretty vocal and he's been a leader. I'll say the leader of our defense, Bubba Taylor. He's our Mike linebacker. You know, he pushes everybody, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams, every day, every game. You know, making sure everybody is steady going. I'll say our center and our left guard, Wade England and Gavin Laney. You know, they're the leaders of our offensive line, but they're also, you know, some of the main leaders of our offense, and they make sure everybody stays going too. I'd say that Javarius Warner, he's also another young junior, you know, pretty talented, Division I running back. He's about in the same boat as Davis Monkus. Those are two of our young leaders, and they keep everybody going. So,
Well, guys, I tell you, I thank you so much because, again, that's another dynamic and that's another element that this Sports Vision morning show can add here to our broadcast region. You know, going behind the scenes, going backstage, talking to the star quarterback and his dad. And, again, that's the kind of unique thing that we love to get because the fans love it. And, again, I know that the Troup fans love it, but the Sports Vision Nation that don't know you, they just read about you, they have a better understanding, and they'll be pulling for you as well. We appreciate you guys both for coming on this morning on the Sports Vision Morning Show, and you have a great rest of your morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
That's Garrison and Dr. Marcus Edwards. Man, I tell you, man, that's a great dynamic duo. And again, I just, over the years of watching, as I tell people, and seeing the time that Dr. Edwards and his beautiful wife have put in with the kids, man, it's a work of art.
It is, man. And what an excellent interview, and glad that we were able to do it.
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and take a short break. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
You know it ain't easy. I look like a baby, makes you run from the like a cheetah. Go!
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Jamari Leonard is charged with murder and aggravated assault for killing 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. in a shooting that took place in September at the South Phoenix City apartment complex. Leonard appeared in court Monday, where Tabitha Russell, Boyd's mother, faced him and described the shooting as, quote, horrible and a disgrace. The race for Lee County Sheriff is heating up after a former deputy was fired for planning to run against Sheriff Jay Jones for office. The firing decision drew public attention. Sheriff Jones says the decision protects public safety, and both men are expected to qualify as Republican candidates in the May primary. City leaders in Alabama also are expressing their concern over the government shutdown. These concerns include food assistance and grant money for sewer, water, and public safety. According to the Pike Road mayor, federal employees who process the funding requests could be furloughed. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Tuesday morning. We're off to a cloudy and cool start with those readings in the mid to low 50s, and the clouds will be stubborn today. They're going to be staying pretty thick through most of the day, with those highs only reaching the low 60s. Tonight, cloudy and cool. We are going to be tracking some light showers, though, returning in the overnight and by your Wednesday morning. Light spotty showers continue through Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. End of the week finally clears out with sun in the forecast by Halloween, warmer by the weekend.
Your wedding, presented by PNB Broadcasting, is Columbus's most complete bridal show. Join us January 11th from 1 to 4 at the Columbus Ironworks on Front Avenue. This is the perfect opportunity for brides in the area to plan their entire wedding in one day in one location. You and your bridal party will have exclusive access to the best services in the wedding industry, including DJs, cakes, florists, hotels, travel agents, photographers, and so much more. Want to be a vendor? Contact PNB Broadcasting at 706-327-1217.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Are you looking for health insurance? Georgia's got you covered. Georgia Access is where you can enroll in health insurance plans that offer the best value for your needs. Compare plans starting October 1st. Open enrollment runs from November 1st to January 15th. Choose the plan that's right for you at georgiaaccess.gov. I'm Insurance Commissioner John King, and I'm proud to bring you health insurance for Georgia by Georgia.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer. Big shout out to Ricky Rogers and Stanley Crowell. They checked in this morning and, of course, been engaged in the program. I tell you also, big shout out to the father-son duo of Dr. Marcus Edwards and his son Garrison, who is just a superb student athlete. He excels both in baseball and is the star quarterback with the Troup County 9-0 football team. And again, doing big things. You said Thrift, he already has, he's run for a half dozen touchdowns and he's thrown for over a half dozen touchdowns.
Yes, he has, man. This guy has been incredible, man. 14 rushing touchdowns, 15 passing touchdowns, and has his team 9-0, ranked number 3 in the state.
What a class act, I tell you. And again, it's no secret that success has come that way. Not only do you have talent, but you have the discipline and the leadership in the household that helps him, of course, achieve as he has been. And, of course, I can see why the team, Coach Glisson, this, he just glows when you talk about Garrison and all the things that he's able to do both on the football field and the baseball field. And I tell you, man, it's a treat to be able to highlight and spotlight student athletes like that.
No doubt about it, man. And I'm thoroughly enjoy having guys like them on that get to talk about how they do it the right way. They work hard, and now Garrison hopefully gets to reap the benefits of what has been a great, spectacular senior season.
Got to talk about that broadcast, man, because that's going to be, you talk about, you guys have had some nice games going on, but this side of the playoffs, I don't know if you've had a bigger game. It's going to be a wang dang doodle.
It is going to be a massive one, and I'm excited about it. This Friday night, 7:30 at Troup County. Callaway Stadium is going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be just an incredible atmosphere, and we look forward to being there.
I know that your last time you were up there maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and you had an opportunity. You had a unique way of setting up. How you guys going to have a similar deal like that?
Yeah, we'll be up in the top of the bleachers near the press box, be able to get internet and power and stuff, and it will be a fun time there. And hopefully the weather, we're going to knock on wood. I don't mind cold. I just don't want wet. As long as we don't got wet, we'll be good.
Well, the atmosphere, I know it was on a Saturday afternoon, and I don't know if the stadium was packed when you were there last, but I tell you what, the town is going to shut down, of course, for Friday night.
I don't expect anything different when you got the number 1 team in the state coming in, and you're also ranked in the top 2, top 3. It should be a fantastic crowd.
Any special bells and whistles that you're going to do with this broadcast?
No, because we still got 2 other games, and it's also Halloween, so a lot of guys need it off, so we're going to do the same all broadcasts we do. We're just glad that we can get it out there, DJ, because it is a big-time game in the state, and we know it is Halloween, but this is too good of an opportunity, I think, to pass up 1 versus 3.
Speaking of Halloween, obviously, are you going to dress up for the broadcast?
That may be an idea, DJ. I don't know if I'll dress up as a Troup County Tiger or what, but that now you give me a good thought for that one.
Absolutely. You absolutely should. I know that everybody in the stadium will be. I mean, dang, you got a huge game like that going on Halloween night.
Unreal.
Where else would you want to be?
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but there. I'll tell you that right now, DJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, listen, I know that college football-wise, we got a few things happening. I know that Kentucky is going to be in to play Auburn, and of course the Georgia-Florida game will be down in Jacksonville. Bama has the week off, and of course Tech will be on the road at NC State. And I know yesterday we had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Chad Bishop, who is the beat writer for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on behalf of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And you know what, man, he definitely enlightens us. He said to us, and again, it's no secret that we know how that is. Everybody loves a winner, you know, but when you're going through your hard times or whatever you're going through, you know, people, you know, they get a little fickle. But now, you know, people are showing up. They're buying the gear. They're wearing all the Georgia Tech paraphernalia. I mean, it's a new day. And you know what? Coach Brent Key and his players welcome it.
Yeah, 100% they do, man. And listen, they're undefeated for a reason, and they're been dominant for a reason, and they're ranked in the top 8 for a reason. So can't wait to see what's going to happen if both Georgia and Georgia Tech finish out. It's going to be the biggest old-fashioned hate rivalry in the history of that rivalry, man.
I tell you what, you keep jumping over 3 weeks of play in this season, man. And again, it scares me because, again, we got a team that, you know, is really with no reason. You know, it's kind of like walking around and, hey, look, damn if I do, damn if I don't. Florida Gators in Jacksonville this week. I'm sure that nobody's, you know, in Athens as far as the football team is listening to us because, again, if Kirby heard us right now, I'm sure I get a text. What the hell are y'all talking about down there? But, you know, hey, look. You know, again, you know, I understand that it is going to be a big game through, but you got to take care of business each and every week in this league.
Now, I agree, DJ, but when I look at the Georgia Bulldogs since 2021, they have lost 2 regular season games. I want to say that again. Since 2021, 3 regular season games. 2 of them are against Alabama. The other one's Ole Miss. They don't lose games like this. And the dang sure don't lose games to teams that don't even have a head coach who just got fired. So if it was any other team, Dabo Sweeney, heck, even a Kalen DeBoer, I could see something like that. I mean, they lost to a 6-5 Oklahoma team last year. And maybe this Georgia team's different than the previous 4 years in their dominant run. But Kirby Smart doesn't do that. And I think people forget he went through 21 through 2023. He went 36-0 in the regular season. And last year he lost 2 games to teams that both could have been in the playoffs. And then this year, the same thing. The only losses to, I think, the hottest team in the country, Alabama. I think they'll be fine. I would be more worried about Texas than I would be Florida, in my opinion. Speaking
of gambling, you saying that it's not a snowball chance in hell that the Florida Gators got, of course, beating the Georgia Bulldogs?
0% chance.
Woo!
I don't even think this game's going to be close. I think this team, what are they playing for? Are they playing for, I guess, themselves so they can transfer out of there? I don't understand what Florida would have motivating it, because if it was keep Billy Napier's job and he ain't got fired yet, I can believe it. I could see them playing outside their mind. They got talent. But at this point, I don't – are they playing? Do they care about the interim head coach? Do they think he's going to get the job? I think everyone knows Florida's not giving their job to an interim coach. They're going to go out and pay big bucks for some big-time name. So I just don't see it. No, I don't.
Not so fast, young man. You have to realize that the dynamics of this game, and we talk about them every day, and you're probably just overlooking them right now, but each and every one of those players that go and take the field for the Florida Gators this Saturday against the Georgia Bulldogs, you say, what are they playing for? No, Napier's gone. But again, at the bottom line is these guys are not playing, and they're not going to these schools because of these coaches. These guys are going for the bag. So guess what? Each and every one of these talented athletes that are SEC recruited that play for the Florida Gators, guess what they're trying to do? If they're either trying to play for an opportunity to get to a team where they want to be and can play, and they're also playing for the opportunity to get some more money. So, it's a lot that these guys are playing for, regardless of whether the coach got fired or not.
Yeah, well, that sounds like they're playing for me, and playing for me doesn't mean you're going to beat Kirby Smart and Georgia Bulldogs. You better be playing for each other as a team.
It ain't never been that way.
But that's the way you're saying, because they're trying to get a bag.
What I'm saying is that the bag brings the players, and the players have the opportunity to play on their choice of team. So, with that said, you could call it what you want to, but it is the day and time it is. These guys don't give a damn about playing for you. They don't give a damn about playing for me. They care for that money that they're going for. And I'm talking the large percentage of them are. So we don't get it twisted, man. But these guys are on display, and I have to know that not only most SEC teams, but most teams around the country those agents have already made contact with who they want, pick and choose on that roster. So I think it's a time for them to showcase themselves.
And that they can showcase all they want. They're not going to beat the Georgia Bulldogs. I still give them 0% chance. There's no way Kirby Smart, off of a bye, is going to lose to a team that don't even have a head coach, that has been a shell of itself all season long, who also lost to a team in LSU who fired their head coach as well. If that happens, you're talking about one of the most biggest upsets, I think, in Georgia history, because I can't fathom this being an upset.
Don't get me wrong. I hope you're absolutely right, but I will not go into that game, and I know Kirby is not going to allow his players going into the game thinking that this is going to be some walk in the park.
Right. Well, I'm not Kirby, DJ. You asked me, and you know me. I'm going to say it like it is, and I think there's 0% chance.
But again, like I said, I know, I understand, but we have to come back in here on Monday after that.
And
Saturday
I'll eat
game.
crow right now if it's close to you. I swear to God, you know me. I will eat crow, and I will admit the Florida Gators. But I get the rivalry aspect of it. You never know what's going to happen in these games. Remember, 2014, Will Muschamp basically played for his job. Florida beat Georgia and kept Georgia out of the SEC championship game. But remember who was leading the Georgia Bulldogs that year? That was Mark Richt. This is just not the Mark Richt Georgia Bulldogs or the Dabo Swinney Clemson Tigers. They don't make mistakes and lose to teams that are not good. They lose to teams that are ranked. I can see that, but not to a team with a losing record. That's not a Kirby Smart ordeal.
Well, it's going to be a big day in more ways than one, because obviously this past Saturday we were at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, and my roommate Freddie Gilbert was awarded his powder blue jacket for being inducted into the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame. And guess what? On Friday, on Halloween, I'll have the opportunity to present him his Georgia Florida Hall of Fame jacket. So it's been a big week for Freddie, and looking forward to that. So again, let's go out looking forward to not only attending the Hall of Fame event, but also the big Georgia Florida game thrift, because I'm going to be on pins and needles. I'm still on pins and needles. I'm not feeling good about this one.
I'm not either. And listen, Javar Rakestraw said 37-10. Javar, I'm with you. And Ricky Rogers says, why do you keep mentioning Dabo and Clemson thrift? I'm sorry, Big Ray. So right now, when Dabo's not winning national championships, when he is, he's Dabo Swinney. When he's not, he's Dabo Weenie. So Dabo Weenie's having a tough time right now, and Ricky, a big Clemson fan, doesn't like it.
All right, let's do this right now. Let's go ahead and bring him up. He is the Citywide Athletic Director for Muskogee County, and he is doing an awesome job in his first several months on the job. Good morning. How are you, Coach?
Good morning. Good morning. How's it going?
Really good. Really well, man. Hey, by the way, again, I want to start by thanking you and Coach Charles Flowers and, of course, Kayla Green and all the people that were part of putting that program together, of course, over at Carver on Saturday morning, man, for opioid and fentanyl awareness to kick off Red Ribbon Week.
Yep. That was I don't know how I got in the mix. Kayla Green, that was one of her community service projects for Girl Scouts, and I think for a senior as a senior at Carver High School. I guess a few weeks ago, Coach Flowers reached out to me, as well as some school district personnel, Dr. Nelson and Pat Hughley Green, our board chair. And I knew I was going to be involved in it because we wanted to get athletes there and share the message with as many people as possible. Although the turnout wasn't what we probably would have expected or what we wanted, I think the message was great, and it was received well by those that were there. One pill can kill.
Absolutely. And again, the thing about it is that, it was a powerhouse lineup of people that were there. There were some parents of some of the deceased kids who had, of course, expired because of the fentanyl use. And again, there was we had somebody from the state attorney's office that had opportunity to speak. But all in all, again, like you said, the people that were there, when I say, maybe when you say the crowd was not what you expected, but the people that were there were the people that were supposed to be there. And I'm sure that they could go back and reciprocate it and share it in the community. But I think that more and more that some kind of way, we got to institute that to being a part of the not necessarily the agenda, but part of the daily messages that, our coaches, our teachers, our administrators share with the parents and the kids.
Yeah, sometimes we allow sports to just take over our lives and forget that some of the real things that are going on in the world. So to bring that to light is something hopefully we can continue to doing. Of course, it was a great partnership with GACA, Georgia Athletic Coaches Association, which I'm a member of. So I was just happy they could be a part of it, and they came and brought giveaways and information packets, and we're going to share that with the school district, and we're going to get those out to the counselors at the schools and things of that nature. So the message will stay around for some time, and hopefully it'll be shared and received and help somebody that's in need.
I love the creativity, man, and I love the ability to try to reach athletes in any way possible, Kendall. But I do want to talk about this fall season. It's come to an end, dude. Volleyball's already wrapped up. Softball is pretty much done. I know we got South Commons coming up this week, and then flag football's, just kind of gotten underway. But for football, this is the last week of the regular season. I feel like it's been an incredible first 3 months of the fall, and then 2025, 2026. I'd like to get your assessment over it, Kendall.
I think I wake up every Monday, and when I close my eyes and open them again, it's Thursday and Friday nights. The weeks fly by. It's been a great season. Our region standings are solidified for Region 1, 2A. You got Carver as the 1 seed. Sumter County is a 2. Spencer with the win over Columbus secured the 3 slot, and Columbus High, who hasn't made the playoffs in some time, as the 4 seed. Although now we got to wait for the final rankings and power rankings to go in to see where they'll play, who they'll play, and what position they'll be in. Because even as Coach Kegler has finished as a 3 seed in our region, could possibly host a home game if he gets into the top 16 with the power ranking system. So it's going to be an interesting next 2 weeks.
As you assess what your duties are up to this point, what grade would you give yourself?
Oh man, I'm passing.
Well, that's good.
I don't think that you can ever give it a grade because it's ever changing. Every day brings something different.
Right.
And you're not here to really, not here to make people happy all the time, because you got to make some decisions that that be brought up from time to time. It doesn't matter what the situation is. But I'm enjoying it. I think I wake up and I know what my passion is. I know what I have to do. So when those nights when you go to sleep and you're already thinking about the next day. So
yeah,
I wake up with a purpose, and just get in here, get into the office, or get on the roads and serve our schools and our community the best I can.
I know that how terrific I feel about you, but again, it's just when we're in our different pockets in the community, when we hear other people say the great things about you, and of course the confidence they have in you, that's saying a lot. I mean, again, this is a job that is new to you. Obviously, you've been in control and running one school, but now to be a citywide overall the entire district, not to include just the high schools, but the middle schools and the elementary schools.
Yep.
You're taking on a big deal.
It's a lot. It's anyone would be foolish to think that it's just a little step up. It's a lot to take in. But like I said, we've talked about it before. Luckily, Jeff Battles is right down the hall from me, so I'm able to pull his coattail if I have a question about something. But he's let me go, and he's let me figure some things out on my own, be it positive or negative. But that's the learning curve. And like you said, elementary basketball thrift's been around. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
Unreal.
We had the elementary fun run a few weeks ago. I mean, we had over 200 kids out there running 1 mile, and it was awesome. The weather was perfect for it, so that was a delight. We'll have flag football for elementary in the spring. I got a dry erase board here right behind me where I started filling out yesterday just the next 4 months with middle school sports and their playoff systems and how that goes. So, it's just a work in progress. I'm not sitting here at any stretch of the means saying I got this under control. Like I said, I just wake up every morning blessed and just get in here and just get to work and grind it out.
Yeah, and I can't wait because tomorrow night office hours will drop again. And I know you had a fantastic interview after Coach Kegler got that big win over Columbus High. And I know Danielle McCoy, and they were talking trash leading up and all in jest, but he did have a great win. I do got to ask about middle school because we know about the high school. We talk about it all the time, but give us a middle school update. When are the playoffs for that? I know that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And when is the championship and everything else?
Yep, you got middle school volleyball and football that are taking place right now. Look, I'm going to turn around and look at my board real quick.
Yeah.
You got, let's see, we got football playoffs that will start. November 13th.
Yeah.
And volleyball playoffs will start November 6th. And they're a week apart for their semifinals to the finals. The volleyball championship game will be hosted at Columbus High School. Excellent facility for the sport. And the seating is perfect there. The court layout is everything's fine. And Coach Lay does a great job. And Coach McCoy is assisting us with that. With the middle school football, they'll be playing at their home sites, and they'll accumulate to Otis Spencer Stadium for their championship in a few weeks.
Nice.
Coach Kendall Mills is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show, and he is the citywide athletic director for the Muskogee County School District. And Coach, in most people that have positions like yours in leadership, you have some vices and to help you, deal with your day-to-day activities. Some people have certain music and artists that they listen to. Some people have motivational speakers, or they have passages that they refer to. How do you keep your head clear? How do you keep you motivated and focused when you need to take that little time out for yourself?
Well, I have a book here beside me, and I try to post these things on a daily basis. And sometimes I do forget. Called Daily Wisdom. People ask me all the time, where do I get these quotes from? It's just a book on Amazon I found a few years ago, and I share those things with me. And also I have my FCA Bible right here on my bookshelf, and I'll read a verse or two when I need to. DJ, you do a great job. You share messages. I'll reflect on those from time to time. But really, I can get in my office and turn the volume down real low on ESPN, and just, if no one bothers me, I can get some work done. But that's not the case with this job. I mean, this door is open all the time, and the phones are ringing, and you just have to take those calls. And sometimes you're able to sit at the desk and work for a few hours. Sometimes you're just out on the road visiting schools or visiting sites to look at construction, look at improvements that we want to make, or just answering questions for the young coaches.
I know you're enjoying the promotion and enjoying the new job, but how's the boss? How's the real boss, the Mrs. enjoying it?
Oh, I wish she was watching. I think she's enjoying it. She's able to go home after work, and she just asks, "What are we doing today?" The nuance of the newness of not just being at Hardaway, 15 hours a day. I think she's enjoying that just a little bit, and being able to get out and, like I said, watch other athletes and the middle school or the elementary levels. Just see the joy that all athletes have, and the passion that parents have for their student athletes and how they perform at the highest levels.
Coach, I know your days are long, but at the end of each and every day, you still have to look at yourself in the mirror. And what do you consider a good day?
Oh, man, good question. My phone not ringing after 10 o'clock. If I can get home and have dinner, and know that all the buses have made it back and the students have made it back to their schools respectively. No phone calls. I don't have to make any phone calls to Miss Kimberly Wright or to Dr. Lewis or Dr. Knopf, my immediate supervisors. Those are good days. And it's many of those. Don't get that twisted. There's many of those days. But as we build into the winter season, we're going to get ready for basketball and swimming. So it's going to be another transition for me, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Coach Kendall Mills, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, thank you for waking up with us this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show, and continue to do a great job and have a great rest of your morning.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. We're going to come back with the sports director at WRBL. His name is Jack Patterson. We call him JP. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Drive me a deserted. No time to have you lurking. You better go back now, you don't like.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Glory's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gory's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gory's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Saturday, the Dogs are back.
Snap, handoff, Frazier, Dogs win, touchdown! Now for the one-handed leaping catch. Caught by Bell, touchdown! We blocked the punt, it's intercepted. The Dogs sailing average.
Saturday, the Dogs battle Florida in Jacksonville. Pre-game coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. on your home for the Dogs.
The Dogs play here. Sportsvisions 92.1.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hello, everybody. This is Michael Bratton again from Bratton Automotive. I want to let you know we have a vehicle for everybody. We also have a finance plan for everybody. Don't worry about your past credit. Don't worry about what you owe in your vehicle. Just come see me at Bratton Automotive, and I'm going to do everything it takes to make you smile.
Hey, y'all head on out and say hello to my friends Michael, Danny, and Kevin at Bratton Automotive, where everybody leaves with a smile.
No, it's not too soon to start holiday shopping. Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is happening now through November 22nd. Shop $10 beauty minis from brands like MAC and Too Faced. Take 30% off Lancome and Touchland fragrances and body mists. With new offers dropping every week, our associates can help you find the perfect gifts. Head into Ulta Beauty today to shop our early Black Friday event. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Thrift Barrier. He's checking in at 5'10", 260 pounds. Jack Patterson.
Hey, come on, DJ. You got to give me a little credit now. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot even. All right.
2 inches short.
Oh, okay. All right.
You better give him that 6 foot.
I'll give you that. I'll make that notice and then make that change in the next lineup. Okay.
Hey man, it's all good. What's good, fellas? You know you can't help but smile when Mark Morrison comes on in the morning. All right.
It's return of the Jack, baby, every Tuesday and Thursday.
Absolutely, Jack. Right off the bat, I don't know how much you've heard of us talking to Kendall Mills, but he's done a tremendous job, and every day is a challenge, as he made mention to. But again, all in all, I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's done an excellent job, and I'm sure accommodating the media as in yourself and your crew, he's definitely gets an A on that list as well.
Absolutely. I caught the tail end of it, but, just to echo what you were saying, DJ, like Coach Mills has been fantastic, in the short time he has been in the big chair as the director of athletics from Muskogee County School District. He's been fantastic. He's been great at communicating with us, making sure that we have what we need. Also, a shout out to his administrative assistant, Lori Skibby. She's been fantastic for us as well. And, they just really put in a lot of work that the average person does not see. Okay. And, anytime that, you can give that crew, their flowers, absolutely worth it. They've been fantastic.
Good deal. Hey, man, listen, I know that we're coming to an end here of the regular season. And, boy, just like you blink your eyes and it's almost done. But guess what? The second season, as far as the playoffs are concerned, that's something that you got to take a deep breath and get ready for as well.
Man, it always happens like that, DJ. When, Phil Scoggins, he always talks about it, especially this time of year, that, we do so much hyping up of the season during the summer, right? I mean, we literally spend months talking about the run up to the season. And then it just seems like, and we're at the playoffs. It is wild to me every single time it happens. But yeah, we're here. You know, the GIAA starts playoff play this week, and then the GHSA and AHSA start next week. So, you know, big week, a couple weeks as we get ready, you know, to determine, hey, who's going to be those teams that make a run. You know, you've played, you know, 11, 12 weeks to get to this point where now it's time to really, you know, play your best ball. And, you know, we start the playoffs, you know, Friday night in the GIAA with Pacelli when they'll be hosting. Calvary Christian will be on the road. You know, Brookstone has a first round bye. So in fact, Brookstone will play the winner of Pacelli's game. So we can have a Pacelli Jug rematch in the, I want to say that is the Elite Eight. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's quarterfinals.
Yeah. So that's going to be something we can have our eyes on as well. But yeah, it's going to be a big day, a big week. I mean, let's just be honest. It's going to be, you know, win or go home time for everybody from here on out.
Yeah, and it's sad that we're already done with high school football. I hate it. We're already in the month of November. Contender month has gone through, and we know who's in the playoffs, who's not. We just had Kendall Mills on, so Spencer, Columbus, and Carver all made the playoffs. We got Pacelli, Brookstone, and Calvary making the playoffs. Obviously, Troup County is in the playoffs already. We have Russell County in the playoffs, Glenwood in the playoffs, Central in the playoffs. That's 10 teams locally in this area. They're in the playoffs right now. Of those 10 teams, who realistically has a chance to bring home the hardware and win a championship?
I'm going to add 2 more teams in Troup County, Thrift, because LaGrange is going to be in, and Callaway is going to be in too. Callaway's playing for a region championship on Friday night.
And heck, you can add Auburn and Opelika in that as well. So we really have.
We're going to be busy, okay? Let's just put it that way. We're going to be busy. But to answer your question, man, that is it. To pick one team.
You can pick several. I'm just asking, like, who were some of the teams that you think has a realistic chance? Not just good teams. I'm talking about teams that you really can see making a deep playoff run and winning a championship.
All right. I'll start here in town first. I'm going to go with the Carver Tigers. Okay. Carver, you know, it feels like they have not missed a beat. Okay. You know, you always, sometimes when you have a state champion, you know, you always think of the letdown, you know, after the championship season, right? And they haven't had that letdown, okay? They've been fantastic all season long. And not only that, but they did that while doing a coaching change, okay? So that just goes to show the coaching staff and the type of talent they have at that school. So the Carver Tigers is definitely somebody I'm going to be watching out for. The Central Red Devils as well, because they've been playing fantastic. Now, I will say this. Central's road is going to be hard, okay? Just looking at the way the bracket shakes out, we'll find out officially on after Friday night. But if everything shakes out the way it currently is, we could have a first round matchup of Titans between Central and Hoover over in Phoenix City. So, you know, is not going to be an easy road. So, but Central, they have the talent, okay? And of course, they have the coaching. Patrick Nix has been fantastic. So, you know, if they can get through it all, and 7A is just a gauntlet in general, especially when you have the East Alabama region and the Birmingham region together, you know, it's just a gauntlet overall. Okay. So you already know more than likely your state champions coming out of one of those 2 regions. You know, it's either going to be Auburn, Central, Opelika, or it's going to be Hoover, Thompson, Vestavia Hills. So, like I said, that's going to be something we're keeping an eye on as well. And then I think a lot of people need to start paying attention to the teams in Troup County too, because Troup County, they have a massive region championship game. It's our game of the week. They're the number 4 team in the state. They're taking on the number 1 team in the state, Sandy Creek. I do think that the winner of that game could very well be the number 1 overall seed in Class 3A. So that's going to be something to definitely keep an eye on Friday night. Like I said, it's our game of the week, so we'll be there. LaGrange, you know, LaGrange might be the number 3 team in that region, but they're also a top 10 team in the state. So is wild to think that, you know, you could be a top 10 team in the state, but the number 3 team in the region. So, but LaGrange is good, and you don't want to count them out by any stretch of the imagination. And then a lot of people did it again. They counted Callaway out at the beginning of the year because they played a really tough schedule. Remember, they had that classic with Opelika at the beginning of the year, and then they played in the Corky Kell Classic against Prince Avenue Christian. Oh, yeah, they're one of the top teams, private schools in the state. So they played them. So they had 2 early losses, but they've been perfect ever since. So, like I said, don't count out the Callaway Cavaliers either.
You know, Jack, you made mention of Troup, and of course, we had their quarterback and his dad on this morning. Of course, Garrison Edwards and Dr. Marcus Edwards, and I tell you what, this young man is a joy on and off the field. Like, we know what he's done on the field. This kid has already, amassed over 10 touchdowns, both running and passing. But again, the job that he's done in the classroom, a 4-point-something GPA. But it was just a joy to hear he and his dad talk about, the preparation and the commitment. And, of course, his teammates that he relies on to help him lead this team. But obviously, again, one of the top quarterbacks in our region, but it was just great to have him on.
I agree, DJ. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm glad you had him on because I was just talking with Tyler about this last night, that in my eyes, more people should be talking about him. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's gotten enough attention for the work he's done for that Troup County offense, and he's grown a lot in a short period of time. And I really do think that he can be that point for Troup County that could really make some history. I'm really intrigued to see how he's going to play against this Sandy Creek team. Sandy Creek's really good offensively and defensively, but I really do think that Garrison Edwards is the type of leader they have to have. And, the one beautiful thing about Troup County is their coach, Tanner Glisson, and many of those players, they've already been in this kind of situation. There's a lot of players from that baseball team that won the 3A state title last spring, and a lot of them are on that team. So you've got players who are state championship tested. And you need that kind of experience when you go into a game like this. And I think having players that are already tested, a coach that's already tested, and a quarterback like Edwards, who's been fantastic this year, I really think it sets the stage, not just for a big game on Friday night, but a big-time playoff run for the Tigers.
JP, before you get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, as well as when they can watch you on television this evening.
All right, so you can follow me on Twitter at the Twitter handles below for me and the sports team, and we're on Facebook as well at WRBL News 3 Sports. Catch us on TV at 6 and 11, and we'll make sure we have everything covered. And don't forget, starting tomorrow, we have the state softball championships down in South Commons, Harris County, Taylor County, and Callaway, all live for a chance to win a state championship.
Hey, man, we've enjoyed it. Hey, you have a great rest of your morning, my friend.
Appreciate it, JP.
Appreciate it, fellas.
All right. Jack Patterson, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear from one of your local favorites. His name is Chris Blackshear. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Late night lover, the one that swings like no other. I know I got a lot of things I need to explain, but baby, you know the name, and love is about pain. So stop the complaints and drop the order of restraint.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Attorney advertising. Georgia. Attorney 770 good law car accident lawyers. Pay after dramatization. Hot dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Beware the dog. Gotta watch out. Beware the dog. He'll bite you. He'll get you. He's coming for you. Beware the dog. You at a traffic light right now. Looking in your rearview mirror like he needs to slow down. You at a red light. He texting on his phone. He ain't slowing down. He slams on his brakes. Barely missed you. I wish he would've called the dog. I wish he would've. Pulls up beside you to tell you he was sorry. You talking to him like, I was gonna call the dog. Light turns green, y'all still there talking. A car comes up behind you, runs in back of you. Man, you really in the accident. What you gonna do? You calling the dog? What you gonna do? Any accident, big or small. ball. Top dog law.
This season of Georgia Bulldogs football is brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union, Yates Insurance, and Marsh & McLennan Agency, locally known as J. Smith Lanier.
We're always going a million different directions.
But Kinetic Credit Union makes it easy for all of us to stay connected all in one place.
With the Kinetic mobile app, we both can monitor our accounts on the go. We can create account alerts so we know when there's a change. Apply for a loan or credit card. We can even open a new account.
Plus, you can quickly pay bills, transfer money, or make a deposit anytime, anywhere.
Kinetic makes our life a whole lot easier.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1, covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
All right, without further ado, and again, they just keep getting better and better and better. Tell you what, this is an old sports guy here that he's a state, just so happens to be a state representative of Alabama, House District 80, and a sideline reporter for the Troy Sports Network. But years ago, me and this guy, we had an opportunity to call games here in Columbus, Georgia on a local station. Please help me welcome to the Sports Visions Morning Show, Chris Blackshear. How are you, sir?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful, man. I tell you, you know what? Not so long ago when we used to call games together, man, you and I used to get together and, put our nickels together and buy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now you're in a tax bracket that's a little bit, you can afford a little bit more than just those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I can have two now. 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches now, right?
Yeah, good to see you, Chris. I tell you, man, we go way back, and obviously this is, this platform is a way for us to not only inform and educate, but we entertain. And the thing, when people see you now, and of course that people that knew us 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, I just wanted to, before we get into the heavy lifting and talking about all the great things that we're going to talk about, your start in broadcasting, sports broadcasting. When was it, and how did you, of course, enter the field?
It's funny. It's like Thrift saying, "Hey, with Corey's basketball league, hey, let me come try this." For me, it was I had the opportunity my senior year in high school to intern at Channel 3. Because I played basketball and baseball. I decided in 8th grade, when I don't like being hit this much in football, so let's set that to the side. I'd rather talk about it. Well, it just so happened that the sports director at that time at Channel 3 was one Reese Davis.
Okay.
And Robert Heydrich was the weekend sports anchor. So they took me right in. And in 1993, I was going to SEC Media Days, playing golf with Jim Fife and his foursome in Birmingham, going to Talladega. And Reese really did a good job of taking me under his wing and showing me the ropes. And because I was already at CVCC, Robert Cunningham, Thrift's too young, but DJ, you may remember that name back in the days at Sunny 100.
Yep.
He was over the broadcasting program at CVCC when I was going there my first 2 years. And really got me involved. And I said, I want to do this. Then I realized real quick that it's a interesting business. You can be as talented as you want it to. You got to have just as much relationships.
That's right.
As you do the ability to do the job. So I was like, you know what? This probably needs to be a moonlighting side job for this. So I was forced to get a job at Total Systems, worked there for almost 29 years till I retired, but I started on my broadcasting after that. So it went from Channel 3 to working the weekends with Teresa Whitaker, learning how to run a camera, became a production guy, ran Chiron audio and cameras for the 6 and 11 news broadcast. And then I walked in one day, I found that WEAM, Gospel Channel 1580, still around. It's under Davis Broadcasting today, was on the 280 bypass. I was like, I'm just going to stop in and see what happened, chance. I'm going to get involved in radio. Well, I met with Robert Edmonds and his sister Angel, who ran the radio station at that time, or as he introduced himself, the commander of gospel. And Tim, and he does a lot of stuff with Youth Thrift, as you know him, and he brought Tim Marshall in. Tim was doing the play-by-play at that time. So next thing you know, it was August of 1993. I'll never forget this. They said, we can only pay you $20 a game. I was like, it's about not the money. It's about the experience. We come on the air, and they are playing. I'll never forget this. Again, Thrift, we're dating ourselves, DJ and I, for you. They were playing the Canton Spirituals. You got to clean up what you've messed up.
Yeah.
And DJ knows exactly. And it was in the background, and they said, let's get you out to the stadium with Brother Tim Marshall and Brother Chris Blackshear. And that was my first ever radio broadcast, and that was August of 1993. And here we sit 32 years later.
Yeah. You have dated yourself, Chris. So
I am. It's hard to believe I started all that at 4, Thrift.
Yeah. I love it, man. But your love for wanting to give back to the youth, now you go into your service and being a representative. Where did that come from? Was it then wanting to always try to help out young people to achieve their dreams, and now you're kind of doing that even higher level, what you do being a representative?
Well, the number one thing for me is I always tell people, my grandfather was a Baptist minister for over 40 years, was wounded and fought in World War II, came back, became a civilian mechanic on the tanks at Fort Benning. And one thing he always taught me was, if you get up every day, you have an opportunity to change somebody's life. Now, you have a choice. Is that a positive change or negative change? Everybody thinks changing somebody's life is automatically positive. No, you got to be willing to make the positive change. And for me was, what can I do to give back to my community? All my grandparents lived in Phoenix City, Russell County. My mom and dad are still living. Actually, I have to do everything they want, not only because I'm their child, that I represent them. They're in my district, So it was, for me, it's so many kids these days gravitate to the negative. I just wanted to be able to give them something from a positive gravitate to. And from the first day I walked in that studio at WEAM to where I am today, I hope those kids that knew me back then, that know me now, those kids then have kids now that I've worked with in broadcasting and know their parents as well too, is I'm the same person. I haven't changed who I am. And at the end of the day, if I ever change who I am and somebody thinks I'm somebody different, that's when it's time to ride off in the sunset. So I got involved locally, thrifted, was asked to be served on planning commission in Phoenix City, learned about subdivision regulations and development. And then I ran back in 2012 for city council, the citywide seat, and was fortunate enough to win that with like 82% of the citywide vote back in 2012. And unfortunately, when Mr. Vance passed away in late 2015, I had a few people ask me, and I went and talked to Mr. Vance's family and told them I'd be interested. And they gave me their blessing to run. So I ran, fortunately won that to finish his 2-year term on that, and been fortunate to be reelected a couple of times since then.
Chris Blackshear is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. Chris, I want to take it back to the broadcasting side of it, because again, there's so many young people out there, so many people, period, that think that they may and want to enter this business. But first and foremost, obviously, for as long as we've been in it and every level that we've been, you have to first understand that it's a labor of love. You have to have a passion for this. This is not a money grab. This is not going for the bag. I mean, there's a lot. I guarantee you work more hours in this business without making a dime than you did making a profit. And I just want you to express, your sentiment with regards to, into this business being, for the love more so than the actual pay.
It is. And if you show up for a broadcast, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, if you show up and that becomes the heaviest lift, the heaviest part of the job, that day you've already failed. The hardest part to the job, in my opinion, is the prep work and getting ready for the broadcast where nobody sees, right? Nobody sees you, the hours of research, everything you do at home and at night. And for me, assuming you have a full-time job and you're doing it on the side. And you're right, it's all about, you got to be prepared. It's all, how can you get better? And it is a labor of love. I mean, yeah, if you're looking to retire by doing this, you better have some pretty significant connections in some high places. But at the same time, you still better be willing to work even harder. Because everybody thinks just because you move up, that's great. But when you move up, that means you have the right work ethic that follows with the expectations of growth. Because as you grow up, the expectations grow as well. So that would be my what I tell people is you can't, how about this? You can't drive the Lamborghini only willing to pay the Kia price.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, man. You got to be able to put in the work. That's the big thing that you're talking about, Chris. And I'm excited to see how the growth of sports in this area continues. You know what? Let me rephrase that, Chris, because I'm not going to date myself and showing how young I am, but I really think that is a lot of high-level athletes in our area nowadays, not seeing there wasn't in the last 30 years. You think the coverage is a little bit better? That's why we hear more about these athletes? Or do you think that athletes are better than they used to be back in the day?
I think it's a little bit on both fronts. We've always had athletes, but we didn't always have the coverage. It used to be just your 6 and 11 sports. That was it. And you had a sporadic, random sports call-in shows. That was it. But now the difference, look how you're talking to me. I'm on my phone, sitting in my truck. It's all about access. We've turned to this world of instant gratification. And let's be honest, it's about clicks. It's about clicks, and it's about likes, and it's about views. Now, I don't want to date myself too much and say I'm not 100% on board with that. I know you have to adapt how things are. You're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotten. I much want to say that I'm continuing to grow. But the only thing that I don't like about things that go on these days is we have so many athletes these days that are only worried about the self-promotion of themselves.
Here we go.
Above the game. We've turned in this me mentality. And it's about what am I going to get? What are you going to do for me? Instead of being grateful for what people have done for them or doing for them.
You're absolutely right. And
great point.
To that point, obviously, it ain't just on the player side. It's on our side. It's on the broadcasting side. Obviously, there's a certain standard. And again, you talked about clicks and likes and all, but, social media is a great, great tool. But I still think that there's some qualifications that still have to be carried out with regards to taking advantage of this privilege to cover this great game that we've been able to. And Thrift and of course, Chris, putting the time in and really understanding, who you're talking to and what you're trajecting and what you're projecting to the masses, it's a responsibility. And I think that, those of us who have been around, we can appreciate that. And I just speaking to the younger folks and really, really, some of them want to get there by hook or by crook. And it's just, they don't last that long.
I agree with you. And let's give an example. Let's use the three of us as an example.
Yeah.
And I want to tie it to the NIL. Don't want to go down that path, but it's legit. I'll take you through an example. You're young, you're up and coming, you've had a great idea, it's done great. It'd be like you walking and going, okay, DJ, Chris, how much are y'all going to be willing to pay me now? Because I'm not going to do anything with my talents unless you pay me X. How about working and earning it? I think that's what we've got these days. We've got kids that have surrounded themselves with people, and they don't even realize the majority of the people they surrounded themselves with only wants them to get a paycheck so they can be paid.
Yeah.
Their focus is not on the athlete and their well-being. So that's the way I look at this, DJ, do we have athletes that are really playing the games today for the love of the game or for the love of what you go put in my pocket?
Yeah. Great.
It'd be like the three of us would not be sitting here having this conversation today. If we were expecting an NIL to do our job, we would be out. We would be, quote unquote, whether do that, hold out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wait until we get the money that we want. That's where I think it's changed. I expect you to give me this instead of saying, I'm going to work hard and earn what I get.
Absolutely. Let's shift gears just a little bit here because I want to give Troy their flowers. Obviously, having the opportunity to stand toe to toe with the Clemson that's no small fry.
It's not. If you remember, of course, I'm not that you're going to come across I'm being sore on this. We went back up there in 2016. About 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was a tight game, just like this one was. Clemson's at the 2-yard line. They fumble. We get it. We return it 99 yards. There happened to be a inadvertent whistle, they say. Well, we'd have won that game. We lost 30-24 back then. We're up 16-3 Saturday at half. We weathered a big weather storm, delay it for over an hour. But for us, for Troy to beat a team like that, you know this, DJ, you got to almost play perfect. That first half was not a fluke. We went toe-to-toe with the number 8 team in the country, and we dominated the game until the end of the half when we get a dumb, unsportsmanlike contact penalty for headbutting a player way after the play, took you out of field goal range. You'd had 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line with 43 seconds and a timeout, already up 16-3 with a chance to add more points. Well, after the 15-yard penalty, we ended up trying a 52-yard field goal and missed it. And then we came out in the second half. Man, we were in the blender. That third quarter, we were in the blender for the first 8 minutes, and it was on high-speed blending. Did I pop back up? Am I there?
Yeah, we see you, Chris, now.
I don't know. Okay, I just want to make sure my people calling me. But we just couldn't bounce back. The third quarter got us behind. We had our best defensive player ejected for targeting. 27-16. It just tell of two halves. But I saw a team that grew up. If you'd have told me it'd have been 20-16 heading to the fourth quarter, I'd have took it from the beginning. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I'm upset at what happened. We played well, but you also know you can't have you can't have 2 targeting calls. You can't have 2 unsportsmanlike contact calls. You got to play within yourself. So we'll see. It was a fun road trip. Big game this week, though, DJ. We're back at the Vet in Troy, 12 o'clock Eastern time kickoff on ESPNU, hosting Memphis.
All right.
Which would be a really good game.
It definitely is, man, and I can't wait to see them play out. I'm going to now go back to high school because there's a guy that you're really close with. I just saw you in his office a week ago, Ryan Nelson and the Glenwood Gators, man. Why is that a program you want to be involved with? And Ryan's done an amazing job. You saw what he did last year, first year in the public sector. This year, got slow start against Valley, but since that first half, they have been lights out the last, 4 halves now. Why did you want to get involved with Glenwood and Coach Nelson?
Well, first off, I'd already been at Central for the previous 29 years.
Right.
So I was helping Central when his dad was coaching. I was broadcasting when Ryan played. I was the director of football operations when Ryan coached. So it was almost like seeing one of your young cousins or family, young little brother growing up and having an opportunity. And for me, as much as Ryan had been around his dad and been around Coach Trevick as a ball boy and been around championship programs and Coach Dubose and going to lounge with Coach Dubose, coming back, Griffin OC, coming back to Glenwood, I knew there's going to be a lot of things off the field that, DJ can tell you this, y'all know this, as an OC, DC position coach, there's just a lot of administrative type things that you're just not exposed to because it doesn't fall in your realm of responsibilities. So I wanted to make sure he was there to help him be the best coach he can be because he was walking in that head coaching arena for the first time. And no matter if something on the field goes wrong or something administratively goes wrong, him having that HC by his name now, which means he was going to bear the responsibility of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I wanted to be there for him to watch him grow and be a part of him because I believed in what he was doing. I believed in him having an opportunity. I think he can go coach anywhere he wants to. Personally, that's just up to him. So we'll see how that pans out, but I've been fortunate to be there. This is entering the 4th year. So we'll see how he does. Totally different football team this year. He's bounced back after losing the Valley. But again, that game was 20-0, losing the way they did. They were down. The losing the way they did coming back was what good. A little more challenge this week going on the road to Childersburg. More importantly, if they can win this week, they're to get them to 2-0 in the region. And one of the special keys to keep your eye on here, in a 7-team region, which means you're only going to play 6 region games. The magic number is 3. If you can get to 3, your percentages of making the 4-team playoff from that region are 90+%. You don't want to get into game 4, 5, and 6 in a must-win situation. You want to get to 3 wins as fast as you can. That way you can play with no pressure in those other region games going down the line.
Chris, when you talk about this business and being in the broadcast booth, obviously you and I have I had the pleasure of calling games together. Thrift and I have worked together, but I've been in my journey I've had in my nearly 30 years. I've been in the booth with the Jim Fifes of the world, the Bob Neals of the world. Who are some of the folks and those were those guys that poured into me and helped me become the man that I have as far as my love for calling games. But who were some of the people that poured into you that really got you started? Some people that you even watch now.
Well, I'll tell you, if it wasn't back for, and I want to take everything back to grassroots, because if it wasn't for Robert and Tim giving me a chance to just come on and be a part of that Central radio broadcast back in 1993, none of anything that ever happened from then would not have been possible. That's another local person. He's passed away now, but Mr. Roy Green that owned Phoenix Cable TV of East Alabama. Yes. Now, he brought me on and wanted me to do a high school call-in show or a coach's show, and it's one of the first ones ever. We called it the Locker Room Review Show. We would go film one game on Friday nights. We would come back in, edit all the highlights, bring the coach in every week. It was our game of the week, and we broke it down, and we had a couple of young guys that were interning that would do a pretty comical 10-minute skit for scores of other games, which was really fun. So Mr. Green always gave me that opportunity and the outlet. Of course, Reese and Robert and Teresa back at Channel 3 just showing me everything. And the biggest ones for me were Vincent Early and Mike Pelkey. I learned real quick that if you understand what the people behind the camera, behind those cables, what they do to make you just show up in front of a light and camera and talk, you would be amazed. So I pride myself. I do a high school game of the week now on Alabama Public Television, and the crew of 12 that goes on the road every Thursday night with us, I make sure they know I'm there with them and for them, because I've been the handheld camera guy on the sideline for Comcast CSS Sports at Auburn. I know what it's like to pull cables. I don't like doing the over-under. I tell people I'm left-handed, so it's hard to do the over-under on the cables. But just understanding that the best example, DJ, I can give is somebody's got to be the captain of the ship.
That's right.
There's also got to be somebody in the kitchen peeling potatoes. And at the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to do our job to make that ship sail smoothly. And at the end of the day, people got to remember, and my take is, if that ship sinks, it don't matter if you're the captain or if you're peeling potatoes in the kitchen, guess what? We all suffer the same fate. We're going to the bottom of the ocean.
That's right.
And that's the mentality we need to keep. If you ever think you're better than the team, you've lost it. You need to find something else to do.
Chris, I got to ask you about Alabama before we let you go, the University of Alabama. Gus Malzahn took him to the woodshed week 1. Now, they did win in week 2, but me and DJ were talking about it. We probably won't hear as many, Karen's coming out saying if she gets $70 million, she's buying out Kalen DeBoer immediately. But it doesn't mean Alabama fans are back on the bandwagon. What's your thought of Kalen DeBoer in Alabama, and do you think that this is going to be an ultimate failure this year?
Well, first off, Karen didn't win the lottery, so she don't have the $70 million. 2 other people did. 2, I think we can tie this back as a direct correlation to what you asked me earlier about the difference in high school athletes these days. We talked about points and clicks. The heat wouldn't be coming down on Kalen DeBoer right now if it wasn't points and clicks and everybody expressing their opinions on social media. DJ and I used back in the day, we're old school again. They used to tell us back in TV, when you laid out your timesheet for your stories on the news, if it bleeds, it leads. That was the headline. And they tell you, if it's a car wreck with no injuries, or if it's a house fire, anything that seems negative, it leads the story over. Thrift's dog was located in the local park today, safe and sound. That's going to be 27 minutes into the newscast. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing around Alabama football. First off, I respect Kalen DeBoer because, number one, he's one of the only few people that had the guts to take the job after Nick Saban. 2, you can't tell me Nick Saban was not involved in replacing himself at the University of Alabama, which tells me Saban's involved. I got confidence they're going to get it right. But here's the biggest deal, guys. You got people right now, and I think Nick Saban said it best on TV on the Pat McAfee show Friday. LSU, Georgia, Alabama, these other SEC schools used to have the secret sauce because kids wanted to play for those universities. They could give two craps about them universities. Now they're playing for the Benjamins and Franklins.
That's right.
So they'll load up and go to Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, North Carolina, because they want them dollars. And you got people pushing them all around them that want their cut of the dollars. So Kalen DeBoer is going to be okay. But guess what? Kalen DeBoer's got an uphill battle because he's a new coach coming in. Before somehow Saban was able to manage the NIL and still those guys being there for him. These guys are there for a paycheck. They're there for themselves until they realize, hey, guys, we got to come together, almost like the ship, right? The ship basically sunk almost against Florida State. At the end of the day, all they're doing, if they don't come together and play, they're decreasing their value. You got to give him a chance. You got to give him a chance. I mean, again, we're in this world of instant satisfaction and gratification. Let the man work. His roster was depleted last year. His defensive tackle is out. The backup defensive tackle is out. They'll be okay. You got a quarterback that's starting. He started 2 games in his career. Press the pause button for a second. Just be patient.
Chris, I tell you what, man, you have really enlightened us and really dropped some nuggets on the Sportsvisions Nation this morning, man. Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man, because obviously, you're doing a wonderful job. You've been in the business a long time, and you got a lot more left in the tank. We appreciate you, big guy.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great day. See you later.
That's Chris Blackshear. Again, you heard it straight, no chaser.
Don't play with him.
Absolutely.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Jamari Leonard is charged with murder and aggravated assault for killing 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. in a shooting that took place in September at the South Phoenix City apartment complex. Leonard appeared in court Monday, where Tabitha Russell, Boyd's mother, faced him and described the shooting as, quote, horrible and a disgrace. The race for Lee County Sheriff is heating up after a former deputy was fired for planning to run against Sheriff Jay Jones for office. The firing decision drew public attention. Sheriff Jones says the decision protects public safety, and both men are expected to qualify as Republican candidates in the May primary. City leaders in Alabama also are expressing their concern over the government shutdown. These concerns include food assistance and grant money for sewer, water, and public safety. According to the Pike Road mayor, federal employees who process the funding requests could be furloughed. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Tuesday morning. We're off to a cloudy and cool start with those readings in the mid to low 50s, and the clouds will be stubborn today. They're going to be staying pretty thick through most of the day with those highs only reaching the low 60s. Tonight, cloudy and cool. We are going to be tracking some light showers, though, returning in the overnight and by your Wednesday morning. Light spotty showers continue through Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. End of the week finally clears out with sun in the forecast by Halloween, warmer by the weekend.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gorey's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. That's 800-628-5675.
How would you like to sponsor Georgia Bulldogs football? Call 706-327-1217 to find out how. That's 706-327-1217. Again, that's 706-327-1217. If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer. What you like this song, I think, huh?
Oh, man. You got to be a dog in a mutt. We say it all the time, DJ, do we not?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Big shout out to all of our guests today, man. Chris Blackshear, of course, Kendall Mills, Jack Patterson, and I tell you, Garrison Edwards and Dr. Marcus Edwards. Just a nice lineup, man. We were able to do something, go behind the scenes. Like I said, with Garrison, being one of the top performers, the top athletes in the area. Now, again, but with no stretch of the imagination, he's one of the top quarterbacks, but certainly one of the top athletes because of his dual role as a baseball player and a football player.
Yeah, he does an amazing job and well-spoken. So if you missed that interview, go back and check on Spotify right now, and all you got to do is listen commercial-free there, YouTube, and on Facebook.
Want to give a shout-out to, of course, all of the athletes that were inducted into the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame on Saturday up in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. Our very own Isaiah Crowell, the former George Washington Carver Tigers All-American, and also the former SEC Freshman of the Year, HBCU Black College All-American out of Alabama State. And again, the free agent for the Cleveland Browns who went on to star in the NFL. Of course, he's had 3 seasons with, of course, the Cleveland Browns and 2 seasons with the New York Jets. Signed with, of course, the Las Vegas Raiders, but that's where he had an injury that curtailed his career, which now he is looking forward to, again, jumping in full speed with the Feed the Crow Foundation, which is his nonprofit. And he's been feeding the hungry during the Thanksgiving holidays for the last 8-9 years or so. And, of course, we're very fortunate to spearhead that. And we'll be announcing a date next week on what day we will be doing that in the city, feeding over 200 people. I'm talking about feeding them for real. Ham, turkey, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, dressing, dessert, tea, lemonade. I mean, that's high cotton.
It is definitely, man. And I want to say this about Isaiah. I'm only talking in my time period, DJ. When I say this, okay, it's no disrespect to anybody before I remember watching football, but Isaiah really did an excellent job. The state knew about this area already.
Right.
And even the Southeast knew about this area. He made it national.
Yeah.
He was the #1 player in the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
Carver was on ESPN against Buford. Come on, man. I'm sorry. You name the other guys that potentially, Zach Watts could be that guy too. He could potentially do that. But let's not forget, Isaiah, he really has helped this area grow in notoriety. He's also a big reason why a lot of the SEC schools, I understand they were coming before. He's not the first SEC guy, but outside of the SEC, Big Ten schools, everyone was focusing on Isaiah. And I'll always remember that because his senior was my senior year, and he was on another level, man. Seeing him run, the way he could juke, It's just something different about Isaiah Crowell.
Absolutely. And his philanthropic spirit, again, being a young guy that, most of these young guys, they're, somewhere in the studio or they're working on some kind of promotion to bring some form of entertainment. But this guy, he might do that, but one thing is he's very, very cognizant about his community. He's and of course serving the underserved in this community. The fact of the matter is that I'm just so proud of him, and of course having an opportunity to sit in the seat that I sat on as a presenter as one of the MCs, and to see he and his family, and being able to be one of the first people to call him and tell him, hey man, you are going into the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame as a board member. Man, it was just worth its weight in gold for me to see the expressions on his face, to see his family celebrate him and celebrate together, because they all went into the Hall of Fame. I mean, of course, his mom and dad, Chuck and Debbie, and all his sisters, his siblings, they poured into him, they supported him, and again, now they are so proud because the whole family, and they were there at the ceremony, and we got some pictures on Facebook. It's been phenomenal, and I tell you what, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And his giving is a great example to the young ones and young people out there that are becoming the next star. Give back to your community always, and be special and love where you're from. And he definitely does that with Isaiah Crowell Foundation. Feed the Crow. I think that's awesome that you do, and feeding people and giving them a nice Thanksgiving meal. And then also obviously the camp, and he's just all about giving back to this area.
And of course, over the holidays, of course, he has been known to give away bikes and gifts for kids, the needy kids. So of course at Christmas. So I mean, this guy, again, he has a heart of gold. And, I just hope that it's reciprocating to the other athletes that have had the good fortune of course, going off. We got some other players that are playing at the next level, and hopefully they'll find a way to do something very similar, or at least join forces with Isaiah, so they can all make whatever he's doing even bigger.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's something that you were taught too, DJ, is about giving back. And you were good influence on him. Do you remember back in the day and talking to him and him deciding to go to Georgia? I'm not saying you influenced him to go to Georgia or anything, but you were a part of him giving him advice back in that day.
I'm glad you brought that up, because again, here's the thing. His parents were the ones that reached out to me and asked for my help. And again, I have some contacts, and I have some situations that are favorable, but I can't force my way on parents and people in the community. And my thing is, if you are doing something that nobody else has done, or you're doing something that very few have done, you got to deal with people that know and has experienced where you're going. This recruiting thing, especially on the level that it is now, especially with SEC and all the Big Ten schools, all the Power 4 or 5 schools, this is big business. And you can't have people making decisions for you who don't know what that experience is like. And I'm not saying that I know all things in the universe, but again, you know what? I do know what I know, and I've been exposed. Just like now, I'm still, in the room with a lot of these, these situations. Again, with being on the board of the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, I'm able to network with people that can make a difference. I'm proud to say that I have been the influence of several players from this area, to include, Hall of Famers, Ernie Green, Otis Sistrunk, Jarvis Jones, most recently, of course, Isaiah, but there'll be others that, again, coming out of this area, if I don't basically put the name in the hat and of course get them, put the straw in the drink to stir it, that's a voice that, that I have, and I've earned that. And of course, I've earned it by way of IJ Rosenberg calling me and asking me to be a part of it 4 years ago. That's how it works. It's not that, again, I don't think that I know it all. I don't think I got all the connections, but the little influence that I have, hey, take advantage of it, because I'm here for you. And there's a lot of other players that will be going into the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of other players that will be sought after going off to college. Again, and I'm an open book. I don't, I'm straight, no chaser. I'm not going to tell you something that you just want to hear because you need to hear it. I'm telling you what, I experienced. I'm telling you what's going on from what I've been able to learn from the people that I'm around now. So again, that makes a big difference. You need a heart. You got a heart ailment. You go to a heart doctor. You got a toothache, you go to a dentist. You go to somebody that is an expert in a sense in all of those particular departments.
Yeah, you do, man. And you definitely never are too prideful to ask for help as well, DJ. But I will ask, most people are going to say, how do we get more Columbus people in there? How do we get more Columbus people? I don't think they understand the voting process. Each area doesn't get each year a representative.
Right.
We've had years where we didn't have anyone.
That's right.
But we've had years where I know we had Jarvis, and last year we didn't have anyone. This year we go to Isaiah.
Right.
But you're doing your best as an advocate for here to try to. But there are a ton of people that are voting on this.
And I've been on this level. I've been on the board of the committee with the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame. And again, I know that they've had an overhaul in leadership and they've got a new way of doing things. But it's just about influence. And again, having an opportunity to be in the room, have a vote, or at least have somebody to acknowledge what you've done. And it's so important. And it's political in a lot of senses, but to think about the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, we've only had 4 classes, and we're going back to the 1920s and 30s of some, of course, inducting people. So all of those years, it's crazy, but we got a ton more to go. And of course, even on the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame level and what they're doing, they have a website. You can go to that website now, and again, you can enter the names of people who you think that are worthy of being in the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame. But more importantly, you can't just run your mouth. You have to reach out, make contact with the committee members, the board members, find out what you need to do, what information that you need to have with whoever the recipient or whoever the recommendation that you have. You can't just be sitting back on the block talking to the boys. I'm like, man, you should have been in here. No, reach out, talk to these folks. They got websites, they got phone numbers, they got committee members in the community. Make it known that you want to be a part of it. And then after, that's when you can say, okay, I've done everything I can do. But you up to this point, just running your mouth is not going to get you anywhere.
No, exactly right. that just gets you. You just sound like a joker. Come on, man. Don't be one of them. Be a guy that's going to step up and do the right thing.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. You are watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month. and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
J. Smith Lanier and Company is now Marsh & McLennan Agency. We remain a full-service insurance, retirement, and risk management firm specializing in employee benefits, commercial insurance, surety, and personal insurance. It's our business to be there for you in the moments that matter, as we have for over 150 years, protecting what and who matters most. Marsh & McLennan Agency is one of the largest insurance brokerages in the United States, offering high-touch service by trusted local insurance specialists. Located in Brookstone Center Office Park and online at marshmma.com.
You're waking up with a Sports Visions morning show on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Sports Visions morning show. DJ Jones, Thrift Behringer, and joining us to my right, your left, the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Thomas. I'm sorry. Is there a country music star named Brian Taylor?
I'm in
Is it a country music star named Brian Taylor?
No.
Okay. All right. That was going to be my out. Brian Thomas is with us. He's, of course, the Swiss Army knife of all Swiss Army knives. Of course, he's a meteorologist. He's a morning show guy. He's a PA announcer. He's a DJ. He's
everything.
He's
man.
everything. A line dancer.
Call me Slash.
But he's also the Central Red Devils PA announcer. And again, the Central Red Devils are getting ready for their playoff action. And
region champs again. Yeah.
Region. How's the season been going?
Been going good. I mean, their only loss was to IMG Academy. So they went undefeated in the region and really into the season on a high note and putting up some big scores against some pretty good teams. Carver Montgomery's a really good team.
Yeah.
And they've got Thompson in the first round. Carver Montgomery actually, they ended up, I think, fourth in the region. Opelika was, I believe, third, and Auburn was number 2. And the unfortunate thing is all of the teams from our region are going to be facing all of the teams from the Birmingham region. So Thompson, Hoover, Vestavia Hills.
Good luck.
I mean, it's one of the, and you know, they try to set up the playoff in a way that you wouldn't have the Thompson versus Central again.
They were tired of it.
The problem is you may have that in the semifinals, and you know, all your arguably two best teams in the state. But I mean, you got Hoover who just beat Thompson on a 56-yard field goal, by the way.
Smokes.
And then Hoover turned around and lost to Vestavia Hills, so that region's wide open. You know, so Central's got Hoover in the first round, which is not going to be an easy game
at all.
So I mean, because Hoover has just shown they can score.
Yeah.
They put 33 up on Thompson, so. You know, so Central's they don't have an easy first round game. Normally those first round games are pretty easy. Not this time. They got Hoover coming to town. But you know, you got a loaded Central offense that, you know, Hoover's going to have to score to keep up with them.
Well, the good thing about Central and what they've had going on this year, they lost to IMG, which is Thrift. Look, the IMG is in the SEC, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, might as well be.
They have SEC.
They could probably take down Arkansas. I'm telling you right now.
But yeah, it's got great. But look, you know, we brought you in not necessarily just to talk about the playoffs, but the experience of being the PA announcer for such a successful team.
It's been pretty crazy because I've been there. This is my 11th year.
That's crazy.
11.
Wow.
Every single year.
Wow.
So far, they've been to the state semifinals. Just to kind of give you an idea how successful that program has been the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
10 years straight, they've been to the state semifinals.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's pretty incredible. Of course, they got a couple of state titles to their name, and you know, so it's the teams that have come through there, the players that have come through there, the Justin Rosses, the Cam Colemans, it's just been pretty incredible.
Can you name all the coaches that you've worked under?
Yeah, Jamie DeBose is who was there first,
right?
And then Patrick Nix took over, you know, a few years ago. So, you know, Jamie DeBose, of course, he's was at Prattville, won a couple of state titles over there before he came to Central, and then won a state title with Central back in, I think it was 2018.
Right.
Peter Parrish and those guys, and you know, Justin Ross was on that team. So yeah, it was,
man, the teams, the players, and right up to the coaches have all been really, really, really good. Just top of the line folks.
BT, we talk about the experience of Friday nights, and I know the Central Red Devils have a unique experience with with their crowd and their game day experience on Friday Night Lights. And we've had a few of here around, and we talk about and we try to huddle, but talk about what you think makes that. I know that's a good football team, but talk about what you think makes that such a special experience. Why are the folks that you talk about the town shutting down and everybody headed out to see the Red Devils play, but that experience for the folks who haven't witnessed it, can you kind of paint the picture?
Well, I mean, it's almost like going to a college game, really. I mean, because you get the smoke, you get all the fanfare, you get all the there's a little bit of tailgating going on,
right?
But it's just kind of what really boils down to the people, man. It's just people love Central Red Devil football, and the staff at Central High School do a phenomenal job of putting on a really good pregame and during the game show, and so it's been a pleasure to be a part of that for the last almost 11 complete years now, and hopefully another 11 years behind it.
What do you know about their feeder system? I mean, the middle school or whatever. They got a freshman academy, and then they got a middle. What talk about?
Well, I mean, they start them young. I mean, it's you got the freshman academy, and then of course you've got. And the thing is, you have a freshman team. You've also got a kind of I guess a JV team, I guess you want to call it. But you've got just kind of give you an idea of some of the talent. Like one of the top receivers they got for Central is a freshman.
Wow.
In fact, they're three main receivers. You got Bass Brown and you got Avid. They're all underclassmen.
Yeah.
They're all, two of them are juniors, one's a freshman. The running back who just rushed for 284 yards
in one game?
In one game a couple of weeks ago against I think it was Carver Montgomery, rushed for 284 yards. I think it was 23 carries, something like that.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And that dude's a junior. So and Bobby Coleman's a junior. So they're all coming back next year.
Wow.
So, it's going to be, as good as these guys are this year, it's like, man, I can't wait till next year because this is going to be even crazier. So looking forward to it. Excuse me. But yeah, they got Hoover in the first round. Carver Montgomery's got Thompson in the first round.
Wow.
Auburn has got Vestavia Hills in the first round. Then you got Opelika has got Hewitt Trustful in the first round. So that whole first round is going to be like a second or third round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's semifinal type teams. Yes. And do you think there's any possibility Auburn and Central are playing in the championship? Because right now they're opposite sides of the bracket. We potentially could get that.
It could happen. Yes. Auburn's got to play really well. They got to play mistake-free football.
Yeah.
Because Vestavia Hills got a good football team. I mean, they just beat Hoover. So they got a really good football team. In fact, Vestavia Hills, if I'm not mistaken, beat Auburn earlier this season.
Yeah, they did.
But that was at Vestavia Hills. This game is actually going to be in Auburn. So hopefully a little home, can help.
Home cooking.
Yep. Hopefully that'll help out a little bit. But yeah, Auburn's going to have to play mistake-free to win. Because that first game wasn't really that close, if you remember. So Auburn's got to play mistake-free football and have a chance to win that game against
36-0, I think, was it?
Yeah, well, the Central game.
Well, that was the Central game.
Yeah.
But earlier this year,
they got smoked by Vestavia too.
Yeah, they beat them pretty bad. So
yeah,
and Vestavia Hills plays pretty good at home, so that might have something to do with it. But Auburn's got them at home. They got to play mistake-free football, and they got to have things go their way. So.
BT, who are some of the other? I know they got some legendary, guys that call the game, and of course they're on our station, one of our PNB stations, 106.
106.5. Yeah, it's you got Jason Sasser and you got Frankie Bell.
Frankie Bell
been there for ever. Those guys do a great job of doing the play calling each and every Friday night, sometimes Thursday night.
Yeah.
Those guys have been there in that position for a while. They
That's Mr. Central, Frankie Bell now.
And of course, Jason works at Central. Frankie has been with Central for I don't know how many years.
Did you know Frankie's son, Matt Bell, is the athletic director?
Oh, yeah.
I learned that this year.
I talk to Matt probably once a week.
Yeah.
And if it's not via text, it's via email.
Right.
And of course they always send me the scripts and stuff for the game and all that good stuff. So I got with Matthew Bell after the game last Thursday. Because the funny thing is, we're up in the booth. They're all down on the field. And, of course, when the game's over, things kind of go in all different directions. So I have not actually been face-to-face with Matt Bell the whole season. So I was like, man, I gotta go.
I gotta find a way to get you guys together.
So so we we went down to this field and finally got a like, hey man, what's going? Just kind of caught up a little bit, but hey, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Because
BG,
coming.
We got a couple of minutes left here in the show. Why don't you let everybody know where they could find the Central games on the playoffs? And of course, again, you won't be on the call, but you'll be in the stadium. Of course, that's the voice they'll hear.
You'll hear me in the background. It's excuse me, on the radio. It's hip hop 106.5. You can listen to the game there. Also, it's on the NFHS network as well. I think that's like $10 a month, something like that. But if you want to watch the game, you can do it that way. And of course, they'll have all 3 rounds up to the championship covered there. But Jason, Frank, he'll be on the call every night. And of course, all the fun starts not this Friday, but next Friday. So I think almost all the teams are off this week in 7A before the playoffs start next week, which has got to help, especially if you've got any guys that are banged up. This is a chance to get them well, get them 100%, and get them ready for the first round of the playoffs, because it's not going to be an easy one for anybody. Looking at this schedule, Central versus Hoover, that'll be a really, really good game.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, of course, what you got lined up with Georgia Alabama Sports Live this week?
So coming up today, we have a flag football game at Otis Spencer Stadium. It's going to be cold, so dress warm. If not, you can watch from the comfort of your own home on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Wednesday, same thing. We have 2 flag football games. Smith Station Enterprise, final regular season game for them, and Brookstone hosts Shaw. On Thursday, Columbus hosts Sumter County, Thursday night football. And then on Friday, we got Troup County, Sandy Creek. We got Pacelli, first-round playoff against the Loganville Lions, and then Russell County playing their final home game of the season.
When did the playoffs start for Georgia?
For the GIAA, they start this week.
This week?
Okay. Yeah, and Brookstone's on a bye. It's just the couple 7 through 7, 10, 8, 9 for each classification. And then for GHSA, they start next week, same time as Alabama.
Gotcha. Which is usual, kind of a little bit unusual, because normally there's a week apart.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you what's pretty.
Get ready for the second season, y'all.
I'm ready. The funny thing is, I graduated from Columbus High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is pre-magnet. So
7-2 this year, man.
Man, we were. Hey, my senior year, we were picked dead last in the region. We ended up finishing second behind Baker.
All right. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. You hear the music, you know what that means. That's going to do it for this edition of the Sportsvisions morning show. On behalf of Brian Thomas, Thrift Behringer, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
You've been listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
My followers were furious. Like, both of them.
Someone damaged the gas line and the service was turned off for safety. Now my chili is ruined and I'm simmering.
As she was digging into my chocolate delight, someone dug through a water main. No water, no